pause the stream. Drink some water. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the stream. Yae Miko is almost upon us. We are days away. Days away, unfortunately. Also, Thunder, I believe. King. King says, what element is Yae Miko? She is Electro. Lone Syndicate was awesome and replied and everything like that. Lovely. We got Sparks up in the house saying, "How is everyone tonight?" I'm doing pretty good, Sparks. But ladies and gentlemen, today, before we get into the event, which I still have not touched, I'm going to see how this works. But it's like saving an event until basically the following day it comes out. So like, not the following day, so a week after it comes out. It's the same day. Comes out, come back around, boom. We're going to see if we can get a lot of it done. Because, yeah, there's nothing really to do otherwise. Also, we can only do a little bit at a time. It's just stupid. Anyway, but before we get into that, also, let me do... Oh, wait, there we go. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. But we are going to go over Yae Miko specifically answering a question and not doing a video because doing a video on this is just too much, frankly. Also, Lone Syndicate says, "What's good, Grim? How are you?" I'm doing pretty good, Lone Syndicate. I did see a Fluff coming at you with whatever. I didn't get it either, frankly. What's a hex agonist? I don't... I feel equally as lost, and I feel out of the loop. But what's new? But ladies and gentlemen, I wanted us as a community to answer the question: why are so many people hyped for Yae Miko, including myself? Well, I think a quick rundown of why. I just want to nail down Yae Miko's high points or potential. And again, she could fall on her face. We don't know until we actually play her. But yeah. But things have been looking pretty nice as far as things in the stat department as well as the abyss, like floors, stuff like that. But anyways, now, the main thing that I think one of the like absolute high points for Yae Miko is essentially not her normal attack. In fact, her normal attack is actually a weak point because when you're attacking, you actually don't get to see your catalyst. You get to see her wave this wand around. Now, the good news is you get to see a badass wolf spear just charge people. Pretty dope. Her charge attack also has huge AoE and actually scales relatively well. Neat. She has 3 consecutive hits. Using her charge attack, put stamina or consume stamina. But this right here, this is what I think makes Yae Miko really, really strong. So I think some people keep mentioning that she's like Fischl. That is kind of true, but I feel like she's a much better way to like phrase things. I think she seems like a mix between Albedo and potentially Kujo-Sara, or even just a massively amplified Kujo-Sara. Now, I want to be careful when saying Albedo because I don't know how much her like long range nodes actually hit for. Could be as much as 3k, not crazy, but with more elemental mastery and whatnot, maybe becomes significantly more. And specifically with certain catalysts giving you 380, that's almost 500 elemental mastery essentially. Then maybe she could really pop off, and also maybe she can really utilize stuff that Diona can give, giving you a 200% more elemental mastery, which will increase your ease damage, by the way. But one of the big points of power when it comes to Yae Miko for me that I think makes her like an ungodly good choice is that she is not Geo. I love Geo, but unlike recent developments like Garu, she does not put out like constructs essentially. So that's one of the weakest parts of Albedo. Yes, he does good damage. You can get him to doing like 24k per Blossom proc. That's crazy. But one of the things that's still relevant and a pain in the ass is Albedo's can get his flower just swapped and just gone. And yeah. Also, there's not much of a damage increase by like placing down Albedo's thing. You kind of gotta place it down, have an instance of damage, and then you profit. Whereas Kujo-Sara, the minute that you place it down, and then these things just start spewing out damage. Now, yes, it's not very AoE, it's single target damage, which is something to consider, but just the idea that these cannot be broken. And also, who would have thought Raiden Shogun gives AoE electro damage, so these paired together will give these little sentry procs even more AoE damage, kind of make up for both, which is pretty wicked. But again, the idea, an absolute win, is a turret character where their turrets cannot be destroyed, and their turrets are up for a long period of time. And they're not only doing turret damage, but they're also doing like a heavy hit smash lightning strike alt that immediately allows them to flow into their position where they're supposed to be again. So they have a moment of high escalation with her ult. Her ult basically destroys all of her E's, but she has three E's to cast, which is nice, just a quick spam. And then you use her ult, you cast down 3 strikes, but then if you have enough level up into Yae Miko, you're going to be able to, as soon as you use your ult, have all of your charges for your E placed back. So she never is on, she's never not doing the best that she possibly can. So that to me begs a question, and I don't know this. Do we build her for high elemental mastery, or do we build her for just base damage? I don't know. Do we build her for energy recharge so that we can get to her ult faster, so that we can keep rinsing and repeating with her ults? Or do we build her with as much elemental mastery as we possibly can? So elemental mastery on our last artifact sets, or do we go energy recharge with the energy recharge set if that's what we're going with? Electro damage and crit rate or crit damage, or maybe elemental mastery, who knows? I don't know what the perfect algorithm is. But just with the consistency of her E's, I feel like it's got to be that. I feel like you almost maybe got to go elemental mastery, I don't know, but then also you get the one set that makes her all hit harder if you build enough energy recharge, and you're going to need a lot of energy recharge. And also, yeah, I don't know. But her E's, basically the question is her E going to be more worthwhile than her ult, or is her ult going to be more worthwhile than her E's? Or are they both going to be really worthwhile, and it's kind of better just to spread your damage out? I don't know. I think it's probably, depends on how hard her ult scales, which I think is pretty hard, but also you lose nothing. That's the best part about her. It's not like by using your ult, you no longer have your E's. No, you just quickly cast your E's again. That's what makes her really, really strong, is that she technically doesn't have any sort of escalation for output, essentially, Where some characters, again, Albedo, you can put down his clove, and if someone swaps it, or heaven forbid, you throw your clove on a wizard or on a boss, and it spawns underneath their feet, and the game's instead of adjusting it to the right, it just doesn't exist anymore, and now you're fucked. So that's frustrating. She just kind of puts down this static ethereal bird that can't be hit like Fischl's Oz. So huge. Also, the trailer that was just released for her is hell cute. Hell cute. As far as her personality things, I haven't seen too many of them. Honestly, when they make it like this, what do they define Yae Miko as? Editor-in-chief? No, that's not what I want to know. What do they define you as? Oh, are they no longer doing that? Okay, Yae Miko is an electro damage dealer who deals both consistent damage off-field and burst damage. Miko's elemental skill allows her to leave behind Sakura blossoms, or Sakuras, turrets, that deal electro damage consistently. When she unleashes her elemental burst, she pulls down a giant AoE, like a lightning bolt. Pretty awesome. Also, isn't this nice that they give us the know-how of what she needs weeks, days before, 4 days before she's out? Brutal. Brutal, absolutely brutal. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to be Yae Miko's, if someone is I don't know why people are so excited, or why should I get her? Is she worth getting more than Raiden Shogun? I think they're both good picks. I don't think you could go wrong. I think if you got Yae, it makes sense because she's basically a support DPS that seems to be really high functioning off field, and when you quickly switch to her user E, and you can just put out things again, so she seems like just a really good sustained DPS. Also, she looks fantastic. But Raiden Shogun is the next banner, so is it better to go with Raiden Shogun? Well, no, Raiden Shogun's also a good option too. She basically facilitates her entire whole different teams. I might put Raiden Shogun above a little bit above. Well, no, I wouldn't, because she's a catalyst user, so she could benefit from the weird energy recharge artifact set as well, or even just being a particle generator bunny, because all her basically she just needs to crit and then she gives a bunch of particles back to your team, which can be kind of a weird energizer bunny like thing as well. But that needs more testing. I don't know, but regardless, I don't think it's a bad choice. I think either are good. If you happen to get Raiden Shogun, then I think she is really good because, yeah. With that being said, though, I think they like Yae Miko and Ryan Shogun had the potential to be like insanely good if like Electro Res or Synergy worked. But it doesn't. Well, it kind of works, but sorry, what I mean by that is like two Geo people give you Geo Resonance, which they refined and made actually worth a damn. Electro Resonance, having two Electro people on the same team, your stat bonus is every 5 seconds you have a chance to regenerate a tiny particle of Electro. Absolute shit. Absolutely the worst thing. It has a 5-second cooldown on detonating something where you can constantly generate particles with other characters. Like Bennett's E's on a 3-second cooldown essentially, so you can generate 3 particles every second for fire if you're using him properly. Yeah, gets a little funky there. But anyways. Just a funny word. Okay. I don't get it either. Pentagon, hexagon, and antagon. Oh, I see. Okay, click the little bit, Fluff. Okay. Lone Syndicate says, I have 91 wishes ready for Tuesday. Maybe me too, Lone Syndicate. Except I don't know how many actually I have. But we are getting 20. Everyone's going into Yae Miko's banner with 20 wishes. 20 wishes to go up for. The thing that sucks, though, is if there was a character like Yae Miko that was like water, fire, Geo even, well, maybe not Geo, but any character like her, they'd be perfect for Ganyu, because Ganyu needs someone who can statically throw like things in the air, but like Electro and Ice just make super conduct, which weakens them to physical shred, which you're not doing with either of these people. So it's kind of like but maybe if they ever release like a Dendro character that like maybe that they weaken like Electro and Dendro could weaken enemies to elemental damage, same way the physical damage works. That'd be pretty cool. Although I don't know, that'd be pretty cool. Fluff says, I got 52 wishes so far after the event rewards. I'm about to say, Fluff, you're going to cash in. You will cash in. Yeah, we each get 20. And I think the shop's not about to reset. Unfortunately, shop not about to reset. Loziget says, the only Geo construct that stays out forever is the Traveler's Rock, or at least it feels like it. Yeah, I could see that. Like his ult, you mean, where he just puts down a bunch of rocks? Yeah, but that's not like, there's no benefit tied to that, it's not like when his rocks are in the area. But if you have Zhongli, then yeah, but if you don't have Zhongli, then it's kind of just like, well, yeah, he has rocks, it's kind of just a wall. It's not like you're gaining damage or even like getting buffs by being near the Geo rocks, like getting an extra damage buff or something. At least I don't think. Maybe that could be in his constellations I've never looked at, but yes. Fluff says, Albedo's flower is both I can't read this. Susceptible. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Again, I don't kid you guys when I say like I've never seen that word written down before. If I have, I just haven't seen it in such a long time. Suspectable. That's all right. It's not right. Suspectable. That's not right. It's. I know what it is. Oh no. Whatever, it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable to bosses destroying it, but also simply disappears if you. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, I did see you write something when I was talking, but I was hoping that you would mention that. But yeah, when you put it underneath anybody, it's just the worst. Also, why are we looking at this? Let's look at this. There we go. This is the main bread and butter. What I think she's always going to be. Again, has anybody seen like what a good Yae Miko build with her E's do? Like, has anyone seen leak things where like no, you can get those E's hitting for like 7k per proc? Not her alt, her E's, because her alt I would assume is gonna hit like at least 30 to 40, but it also hits 3 times, so maybe it's like 20 per tick, maybe, who knows. Fluff says it's easier to keep the Traveler's constructs out, but if there's nowhere to properly land, aka the boss hits, it will also destroy immediately. Yeah, it's also just that, like, I don't know, there is like, what do you call it, Geo's reaction is the same across the board, right? So it's always going to net you shields, whereas there is an argument for, okay, well, Electro interfacing with fire gives you overload, maybe they buff that in the future. Maybe there's a character that like increases that. Also, you're buffing elemental mastery with Yae Miko, so maybe the overload comps are not going to be the worst. So she could support potentially like a range character, maybe even like Yoimiya. If you have Yanfei, something like that. I could maybe work in the future, but yeah. Also, we have no idea what Dendro and electricity could do. Maybe they're like a super big damage conversion. So in that case, that would work really well too. Also, Adam says, "Hi, I like your Let It Die guide." Thank you so much, Adam. Hopefully, I'm happy you enjoyed them so much, or even enjoyed them a little bit. Thank you. It says, Yae, particle generation is either gonna be insane or just terrible. I don't build her pure EM because even if you do, that it won't hit hard if you don't crit. It's not like Swirl. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But at the same time, yeah, no, because again, if you use the sacrificial or no fragmented, the book that gives you like a chance to get like a stupid amount of critical attack percent, stupid amount of elemental mastery, or a stupid amount of elemental damage, if you use that book, that would replace like a cup and a half. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to change your final thing to critical rate, then you would be good. You know, you could gain. Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to be elemental mastery, elemental mastery, elemental mastery, unless you get super lucky with critical rate in your substats. But I think it could be elemental mastery, and then what do you call it? What's the thing? Critical rate. Because if you just have that book, you're going to be making up for like a shit ton of elemental mastery. You know, if you use certain characters like Yae Miko, or not Yae Miko, sorry, the cat girl Diona. There we go, Diona. What's good, Kai? I love to see you, Kai. Kai says, "Hi, Grin. Hello, people. Hello, Kai." Lone Syndicate says, I'm going to build her with the standard attack, sands, electro damage, or attack cup, and critical damage circlets. Yeah, I think I'm going to go energy recharge, because I think I would like to have some energy recharge, because I'm building with the alt set. Energy recharge might change that out for elemental mastery, depending on my luck of artifacts. And then the second piece is going to be electro, I think. Again, could be debatable whether I throw elemental mastery on there. Depends on what I get in terms of stat rolls on my artifacts. And then I'll go critical rate on her thing. Although she does scale or ascend with critical rate, so you don't need that much. Yes. Yeah, honestly, I feel like if you were able to get like 20 critical rate, you might be pretty okay, actually. Depends on what you want, I guess. Because she does hit a lot. She's not like she's hitting 4 times. Because I think when you put down 3, you hit one big one, and then it sequences 3 other hits. So you don't need, like, as long as one of those are critting, you're going to be in a net positive, I think. Alonso says, Electro Resonance is when you do electro reactions, you get an electro particle every 5 seconds. Yeah, that's terrible. It's absolutely awful. You get 20% attack with just having 2 pyro characters on your team. Kai says, Yae's kid, that is why I said people probably need to run her with Raiden Shogun Sara. Probably. I don't know if she'll be that down bad for Electro. We'll have to see. But even still, like there is, you do not need Raiden Shogun to run Yae. You could just have Fischl, which almost everybody has Fischl at this point. You know what I mean? Like Fischl is the best. Like, I'm sorry guys, I love Raiden Shogun, but like pound for pound, Fischl is one of the best energy recharge people for specifically, well, honestly anything, but specifically for Electro. She's nuts. She like Oz generates a particle per cast of his E, which is wild. Which that seems like a bug. That can't be meant to be a thing where they're like, yeah, fuck it, Fischl. Oz generating so many particles for every couple seconds, you know, no cooldown, nothing. Lindsay says, also Grin, you hunch was right because I heard the guy from Xbox that Yae will have an artifact set, but it's not coming for a while. Oh, really? Damn sons of bitches. But I still think she'll be able to be used with the energy recharge set, you know? But I will say, that's a little shitty. That's a little shitty. Kai says, the only Geo construct that stays is Garu's flag because it kind of does not, yeah, it's not even, well, it doesn't even count as a construct. They don't even say that. It's like your banner flag, you know? Kai says, I heard from the guy that works at Xbox and that Xiao will get a new artifact set. Woohoo, finally. Yeah, oh wait, really? That might be the time when Xiao finally, but man, no, that'll be good. That'll just be a net positive for people who happen to get Xiao and like Xiao, but to me, man, I don't know how they would do it, but I would love if there was an artifact set where you could like build stacks plunging a bunch. Because I basically I just want an artifact set that doesn't just enhance Xiao in the plunging department, because that's kind of a boring gameplay if you've been doing it for such a long time, if you have. Whereas if they were like, we'll increase the plunge damage to make it so that's the best plunge artifact damage set, but we're also going to enhance its ability to do like normal damage. Like almost if you're able to land 3 consecutive plunge hits, you have a burst of melee damage for like 5 seconds, and there's like an animo insignia on your back that says that. So you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna plunge, and then as soon as I see that insignia, now I can like light people up with my flurry attack, which will work out, something like that. Because you're already leveling up Xiao's base attack anyway, just to get the plunge damage scaling. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to buff up his normal attack in some ways as well, At least I'd hope, but that's my hopes. That's cool to hear, Kai. I didn't hear about that. Kai says, could be wrong, but I live for the hope. For hope. Once again, it says, but EM on Yae could also be insane, because Lisa, with lots of EM overload hits for like 28k, and Lisa scales up with EM. Ooh, god damn. Well, yeah, but also, I don't know any caster that benefits from EM with the fragmented thing. I could see that giving you some skewed perception, like, because you're getting 300 or 480 elemental masteries on a base. My point was providing reasons why Yae Miko will be far more reliable compared to likes of Albedo and most other Geo constructs, since they can't be destroyed. Yeah, that was my hoping. That's my like pound for pound thing. That I think Yae Miko is the unarguably has high value, and that's why people are saying that she's gonna be strong. Is just the fact that she has turrets that basically cannot be destroyed, have range, seemingly good range, and you have 3 of them. So like, what do you call it? Yes, Albedo's he's at every 2 seconds he can do AoE Geo damage, but there's moments when you're not fighting or enemies are spread out in a way that you can't do that. You can't benefit from its AoE. Whereas Yae Miko is hitting 3 targets all in separate times. Also, if the turrets are closer to each other, I believe they fire and pulse faster. So that just makes them even more like, every second there's a thunder strike happening, which I think will supersede in a big way Albedo's damage compared to hers. But maybe it ends up equaling out, because maybe her E's are not supposed to hit that hard, but they're just supposed to hit a lot. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that is probably everything I got for Yae Miko. Very excited. Loved the trailer. Very cute. I wish I could. I'm going to read this probably after. I'm just terrible at reading and don't want to do it live on stream. Because yes. But we do have an event to get done, which I have yet to do a single part of it. So hopefully we'll make some good ground. Also, do not get your hopes up. I was not playing Xiao. He's part of my run team, my farm move quickly team. Also, I still haven't done fucking Spiral Abyss. Is it bad? Is it as bad as it was last time? This time? Kai says, I think just a feeling that Yae will be stronger meta-wise than Ayato. I still want to pull for Ayato. I mean, maybe. I think you're probably right, Kai. For me, I think which makes sense to me is just the a Sentry amplification of DPS character is really good, which Ayato I haven't heard a lot, but I've heard some people say that he kind of switches between stances. That's like the weird thing. He builds up something called like a stance meter. That could be bullshit. I don't know. Guy works at Xbox, who knows? But he builds up like a stance meter. It's not just like he's a DPS. Not like he's a DPS guy. Yeah, same Abyss as last time. Oh fuck, this is still pretty not great. Pretty brutal. Not great. Anyways, let me see. What do we need to do? I think we need to go over here. I could spend a little bit on more Yae Miko boss kill things. I don't think this is Yae Miko's artifact set yet. No, she needs gold, right? Maybe is today the day where you can farm for Yae Miko's material? I don't know. I don't think this is right. No, hers is the archway, I think. Yeah, that's how I remember pictures better than I do remember everything else. But yeah, we'll fight. We'll burn some resin because I condensed a lot of my resin, and then we'll go kill that boss that I just want to. I probably will 90 Yae Miko, frankly, but yes, I'm not sure yet. It's always like maybe we get her and it's like no, they nerfed the shit out of her, and they're like, gotcha, bitch. You looked at leaks and seen the scaling was high. Fuck you. Like, God, Mahoyo, what's your problem? And Love Singing says either that or if people out there are lucky to get C1 Yae, her burst cost 64 instead of 90. Yes, I don't like when they do stuff like that. I actually like the idea of like there being a gluttonous perception of a character. Like the point of the character is the fact that they are like, no, She's got a lot of like. You need to find a way to feed that person energy. You know what I mean? I wish her C1 and her C2 were swapped. So her C2 is the one that interests me the most, which is gives you range and gives you greater damage. What was it? I think it gives you like a little bit of more damage with her E or something. But the main thing that I'm after is it gives you AoE, like greater range with her turrets. So her turrets can basically, I think, map hit someone like across a big way, like a huge radius. What's good, Sasha? We missed you. Sasha says, hi, Mom. I'm on live show. What? What, Sasha? I am not your mom. No anything, but maybe hopefully a friend if I'm lucky. But it's the first time someone's been like, hi, Mom. Fluff says, speaking of plugs buffs, Albedo's got a plunge damage buff with higher constellations. Not that I expect many to get it, let alone the buff Xiao. Yeah, well, apparently, Fluff, that doesn't actually scale as hard. I've seen, I think, a content creator, I forget the name of him, but he was basically saying, like, yeah, shockingly enough, that doesn't actually contribute to the algorithm of increased damage that much at all, weirdly enough. Fluff says, yeah, it's such a little damage increase. Yeah, it's not worth it, but C0 Albedo is great for Xiao Geo. Well, yeah, that was the one thing that was surprised me is how good Ganyu and Albedo actually work together. Like, it's one of the few people that, like, works with Ganyu, because Ganyu just needs anyone that can, like, put down something and, like, leave, and, like, just have a way to detonate damage. Also, the weakest part of Ganyu is the fact that she's squishy. So the fact that you're constantly, if you have her alt inside Albedo's Blossom, you have crystals everywhere, you know? Fluff says, now that said, I'll probably try Miko with Albedo to see how that works. Yeah, I don't think it's bad because Albedo sequences with Elemental Mastery too, right? When you use Albedo's alt, you get Elemental Mastery buff, so that could be pretty good for that, at least. Oh, I have a shield, do I? I don't know. Oh, that's so bad when you get caught up in that little tiny gust. Kick this. Some of this. We got hella particles. Hella particles up in here. Killed it. Rakai says, we don't know really what Ayato does yet. The Xbox people argue over it. Is that what happened? I might have gotten got by the everyone saying, no, this is what he's going to be. No, this is what he's going to be. But to me, it makes sense that he has stances. That kind of goes, maybe that's the people inferring a lot, though. It's not actually confirmed, which makes sense. But we'll see. I don't know. I heard people saying that, like, they don't like him. I don't know, man. People are weird when it comes to characters. Yeah, like I heard some people say that they don't like his design, or there was some weirdness where he was like, his costume looked weird for people, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. That's like, we're talking about something that is unarguably subjective, like unarguably. Lone Ticket says, I'm 9ing Yae day one, no questions asked. I probably will too, frankly. But I feel like to me, leveling 90ing a character is only, like, the main thing is talents. You gotta buff up them talents, you know? Lol, people are weird. I agree, people are very weird. People are, I don't know. To me, one of the things that's most refreshing about, like, relationships and how I really enjoy when people have this trait, but when people are authentic to whatever they believe. You know, they could believe something entirely different to me, but as long as they hold true to it, I'm pretty goddamn happy. Like, I'm content a lot. But I know people who are like, I don't know, I knew people who were in school at least who were very religious and didn't do any of the the religious thingies, you know, like totally banged before marriage, and that was definitely the religion that they believed in, was no bueno for that. They definitely lied, you know, like a lot of the things where like, I don't really know. I don't know, something about this that were like, I'm not sure if the ideals are actually being held, you know? Oh, also, shit, I forgot about that. That sucks. I gotta infuse something. I keep going up, and the game's like, did you? Did you? I did. Get away from me. We'll go is this one? No, it's the top one. There we go. Okay, we'll just level up. Well, no, we probably should level up the emblem set. What did we get? Nah, not good enough. Is this one good? This one's okay. No, it's HP. Never mind. What am I doing? I hate that every single time you have to like reorganize your thing if you just looked at an artifact. You think they'd patch that at this point? Not the great. Lisa has this for whatever reason. Oh, it's because this might be my one set for Yae. Maybe. Sasha says, so how you doing? I'm doing pretty good, Sasha. I'm very much enjoying Dying Light 2, man. But I'm also like, oh my god, is Elden Ring this week? Like next Tuesday? Or, yeah, like upcoming Tuesday, I guess. Is that? Oh, got some critical damage. But if that's the case, then what do you call it? There's so many fun things in Dying Light 2, man. Like, to me, I'm just like, yeah, and they still haven't patched the dupe glitch. So part of me is like, they might just be like, because honestly, like, man, I want to make a video just talking about Dying Light and how clever it is, where it's kind of a game sequenced into like 3 acts with 3 different types of like perceptions of how you're supposed to progress in each change. So like, you start off just trying to survive. It's like a survival game with scarcity to some extent. But then it becomes kind of a game where like it's an RPG where you're just trying to get levels. You have a huge sandbox. You're just jumping around trying to profit. And then apparently the end game is about min-maxing. So then it really becomes like a weird RPG game where it's about maximizing the best stat roll possible. And that to me, I'm like, that's like 5 different types of gameplay loops in one. And that's really cool how you can kind of get through everything, you know? And then like how it keeps changing. And I find it endearing. Also, at least right now, I'm really digging the story, which is surprising. I did not think that would be the case at all. But yeah, no, the story to me is, ooh, 20 critical damage, I'll take it. That's not the worst. But yeah, the story for me is actually really cool. And it's kind of something that we can kind of infer and expect. It's something you can kind of like make a judgment on really quick in the very beginning of the game. But I'm not gonna spoil it. But it's, yeah, if you've thought about it, it seems like that's what's happening. And it's pretty cool. Like I can't wait till like 2 months from now where I can just talk about the general idea of the story, which I like enough, you know? Kai says also Sasha, how's your day going? Sorry, I just realized I wasn't courteous in any way. Kai says also, in my subjective view, Ayato's design appears to be attractive. No matter the taste, Mihoyo put a lot of thought into it. No, I definitely think for me personally, I like Mii's style. Like I like the fact that he to me, I don't like the. My only thing is that I'm not a big fan of the specific weird contrast with like a person in like a perfectly ordained white suit when we're like throwing down fighting shit. That to me is like a little bit of a, like, people should look a little bit messy if they're fighting constantly, you know? But that doesn't mean he's not like super aesthetic. Like I think his detail in his armor also, and this could just be me, but like the character of a person, it's pretty goddamn important, you know, especially at least for me. Maybe this is the way women feel about other women, maybe, but I have no attraction, etc., to the male ornate part of the thing. But I do think when a person's like a cool character, like an understandable, interesting person, like again, for me it's Ito. Ito is a weirdo who's like, but he's also like he's kind of childish, but he stands by who he believes. Or what he believes, you know? So I like stuff like that. But as of Ayato's design, I think it's neat. I don't think it's bad in any way. No worse than any of the other characters, you know? Like, yeah. Lonzinga says, people were saying Ayato is gay because his outfit is based on, like, this clothing that used to attend on men's... attention. Oh yeah, so try to like, yeah, I've heard it. It's like basically there was the thing people were saying that Ayato's design, because he has like floopy like wrist or like sleeves essentially. Women used to like dance in the street to get men's attention apparently. But then also people went back and they tracked it to be like, no, this is like a sign of nobility. It's like, this is not just like, yeah, maybe that was how certain sects of women eventually adopted that because of various, you know, whatever it could be, you know, they want to get a person's attention. This is the way they could do it. I don't know if that's 100% the case. I feel like it must be like free blowjobs or some bullshit. Would probably be more like, oh my god, not like, look at my floopy wrist thing. It's like, what? What? So to me, I think people miss the mark a lot. And maybe it was just like things that people did, but I don't know if it was so entrenched in how they pursued sex work potentially, or not even sex work. Maybe it was just like, hey, hostess kind of stuff, you know? But nevertheless, who cares if that's the case? Who cares if Ayato is a fucking Giga Chad person? Like, that to me is the thing that's weird. Like, so if he's a sex worker, say he's like a man who's I mean, it wouldn't really make sense because he's supposed to be like a general of an army, but fuck it, if he wants to throw down, that's the one that doesn't make no sense to me, really. Like, yeah, where people are like, but what if is Ayato gay? I'm like, what? Like, maybe, I don't, what? Say he is. Say he's out here trying to get your attention and having the floopy wrists. He's governing a country and throwing down. Okay? Why is this a thing that we're not allowing? I don't know, it seems weird. We allow Child, who is a pound for pound psychotic genocidal murderer, or at least the attempted terrorist, we'll call him. So yeah, to me, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Anyways, Fluff says Elden Ring is February 20 for 2 weeks, or at least 2 weeks. I can handle 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a grace period. Kai says, I think Elden Ring is 2 weeks away. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Fluff. Fluff says, you're on point, boom. I hear good things about Dying Light 2 story. I'm surprised. Well, I haven't finished it yet, but like, I will say that the choices thing seemingly is like not 100% there. It's kind of the one thing that does piss me off in the game, though, is if you do not do all of the side quests before you do some story moments, the side quests go away. So like, because of the story events, essentially. Which to me, I wish they would have told you. Like, hey, like at this point, you're gonna cut off like 5 side quests, and they don't. So you're kind of like, there was side quests in that town. What? In hindsight, I guess it makes sense with what happened in the town, but also, fucking shit. God damn it. Guy says, Ayato is a politician, not a fighter. He has ninjas that do his dirty work. That can't be the case, though, Kai. Then what are they gonna be like? Hey, hey, I would actually be down if they made Ayato like a politician guy who didn't like fight at all and just summoned forth ninjas off screen to like come and bulldoze people, like some sort of weird caster meta. I would love that. Definitely not the case. He's holding a sword in the thing, but you know, nah. But also, I think based on like Ayaka, it seems like back in like with the Japanese kind of whole shtick of like warriors, generals, clan leaders, I always thought that if anything, those people who might have also been like privy to politician kind of activity stuff were probably mainly in the whole like fighting thing. Like if you were the leader back then, you probably had people trying to come for your power, etc. So I don't know. To me, a part of me thinks that like it almost be part of the education or the promise of your family's name that you would need to do certain things, you know. So you would need to be a warrior, I think, if you were like, I think Ayato and Ayaka both have that kind of backstory. Fluff says, what? People talking shit about an upcoming character? Kit design? Abstract sexuality? Stop the pressure. Stop the presses. It's absolutely unheard of at this community. I mean, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I don't know, because I feel like the same potential perspective could be put on just about anything. Like, it'd be like, oh, like racism, that's the first time I've heard about that. You know, or like, well, I don't know, it's kind of I think important to kind of keep talking about it. Just well, at least if we can aim away from pain and suffering, you know. Now that's a super strongman argument of like comparing anime character waifus to racism, but you get my point. The point was not very well founded. I'll be honest. It's not a good equilibrium, frankly. I apologize. Yeah, Lone Syndicate keeps giving me a skewed perception of my Yae Miko, which no, Ganyu, sorry. I thought he killed you. Which I appreciate. Actually, I don't have Shinhi, so I will never be able to experience this outside of this. But feels good. Feels good to kick some ass and be dropping some hella bombs. I noticed it the most in my alt. I think I just consume all of the stacks of sigils immediately though. Now we have to go fight that boss, Lone Syndicate. That goddamn Electro boss. I'll play Ayato so I can break those damn things. And then we'll do the event. Golly. It took a long time doing everything else. Oh no, we're gonna go here. Lone Syndicate says, Ayato is level 90, a 99 Mafia boss. I would not hear otherwise. Yeah, I guess there is a way for them, like, to... I don't know. So I'm trying to think of, like, could there be a way that, like, they make it so that, like, Ayato's design for me and my weird, like, main DPS should probably look like he can fight and is not in, like, perfectly white attire because, I mean, magic exists in the world. Maybe you could definitely argue that we're having a stupid conversation, but, like, you could totally keep an outfit white. Look at Ganyu, she's wearing white. But Ganyu also looks kind of like, yeah, like she's an archer, you know what I mean? She's like meant to jump around and like move. Whereas if a dude's in like big, bulky, like fucking suit, like Ronin like gear, I'm like, okay, I guess. Yeah, but again, I don't think it's like just, again, they're Ronin that are like wearing baggy ass big clothes. But I don't know, something about the cleanness of his design. I like the like detail. I like his overall design. It's just the fact that he's wearing white that to me makes everything look super clean, too clean. What's good, Ahmed? Ahmed says, can I join you? I have done 16 adventure rank now. Oh, I'm sorry, Ahmed. You can't join because I'm at world level 8. I'm AR 58. But if you keep trucking along, we'll eventually get together because you can't stop it. Also, you can grind like crazy and get to like at least AR 30, I think, real fast. But then you gotta grind to some adventure rank points, which isn't less good. But we'll play together one day, Ahmed. But appreciate you for stopping by. Guy says, Ayato, with Ayato wearing a style of outfit from the Meiji Restoration era, who ended the shogunate, I wonder if he keeps the rebellion up and ends the shogun's reign. I mean, that's what apparently the next patch is, right? So I guess that could correlate. I just wonder how they're going to explain him, like, basically being like, I'm out. Like, I'm basically, like, I've left all of this to my sister. And I've been somewhere. And I'm sure they're going to be like, hey, I was, saving the world or something. But in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, kind of a dick move. Kind of a dick move, actually. Huh. Oh, I forgot. We're supposed to do a dive bomb over here. I haven't fought this boss in a hot minute. What's good, Crazy? Crazy says, hey, just got here. What's good, Crazy? Hopefully having a lovely day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Kai says, I love the general look on him. Yes, again, to me, it's not the general look. It's the cleanness of the general look. Okay? It's the fact that he looks like he's never seen combat a day in his life because he's wearing a white goddamn outfit. Okay? I like the general look too. But it's the fact that, again, I'm just lost. I'm lost in the fact that I'm like, how are you going to wear this completely white looking garb when we're about to go fight a dragon? Okay? You were going to look like white stains like crazy. Yeah. We gotta get out. We gotta get out. It's bad. No, we'd stay in here. Ah. Also, there's still one more thing. Yep, I knew it. There's one more thing. No, we got them all. Oh, right, because, yeah, Lone Syndicate also playing, what's his name? He's also playing Eula, not his name, her name. Give me my cow, goddamn you. There we go, 43k. Beautiful. Why did I stop hitting? There we go. Edo is still a beast. Sasha says, I'm finally on a weekdays, or no, I'm finally on weekends, but still I have to go to bed soon. I don't want to get used to sleeping half of the day later. Yeah, no, absolutely, Sasha. I appreciate you keeping tabs on me, popping in here. We always appreciate you. But absolutely, go please, please get sleep. Last thing I want you guys to do is give anything like that up for me. Sleep is so important and can be a very nice sentiment for the future you, because there's a lot of studies that attach Alzheimer's and brain degradation diseases to lack of sleep, because that's when you get recovery for your brain. So definitely sleep, please. Fluff says Ayato looks like a noble general, rather than how Ayaka dresses more in a fantasy style samurai armor. He'll of course actually fight with when you play him, but he also duplicated with a sword made of hydra. Yeah. Fluff says so I could see his burst being him surrounding some ninjas subordinates as part of his attack. Perhaps Ayato and Kaching Shinhi's visual effect. I don't know, because to me, and maybe I'm corrupted. That could definitely be the case. I'm definitely corrupted by the leak that I've seen that's kind of talked about how Ayato is stance-based. And yeah. And his alt kind of facilitating, like, kind of like child, like different stances. Like when you activate his alt, it does something when you're in one stance. When you activate something else, yeah. Also, there was like a guard kind of thing. Like it seemed like you built something as you played him. So to me, it sounds like he's a genuine like samurai warrior, whereas Ayaka seems more like a alt bot / magic affinity caster. You know what I mean? Where she can like combust into a cryo, whereas Ayato seems like he's utilized like a DPS version of Hydro, I guess, which we haven't really got many Hydro DPSs besides Child. And I think he'd be the inverse of what Child would be. Which Child is kind of like an autonomous, like AoE fast-hitting character. I think Ayato is going to be the inverse of that. So slow-hitting, complex kind of different stances, single target potentially, that kind of thing, you know? But that's my guess. I know nothing besides I've heard something about stance. And it's not low riding cars. Okay. Enemies. I think it's probably no, probably not. Take some time. See, sometimes it lies though. Sometimes it says it's ready to go, and I don't think it's telling the truth. It's lying to me. Also, let me drink some of my coffee, my espresso shot. Man, there's so much foam in espresso. It's not very good. It's so strong. It's so strong. This whole stream was mostly everything but the event, but we'll get there. We still have like an hour and 20. Is he still up? I'm gonna break my whole fucking face as soon as I land. I have no stamina. Oh, guys, holy shit! I just seen the man. What a weird thing. Sorry, have you guys seen the what is it called? 7 Deadly Sins game? That game looks like fucking identical, except more like cartoony and like fabulous and extra, like I don't know what the word is, eccentric. Like the movement seems more like Dragon Ball Z. You just a tiny child just does a kickflip up a mountain essentially. You know what I mean? Like just throws his body forward. You're like, God damn, how strong are you? Anyways, but that game looks like actually something. But to me, man, in the back of my head, I'm excited for that game because it looks like a decent like. Interesting development in Genshin where like you actually could have like a giant summon person who could like change the environment around you, like literally give you a platform to run on. If you guys haven't seen the gameplay, we'll watch it on Saturday stream in the background, probably on repeat for a long time. But needless to say, oh no, where is it going? Go attack, cow, go. Oh, it's bad. It's man, I hate it. I try to switch to a character, but I think you can't when you're in that fucking thing. Like enemies stagger lock you essentially. Unfortunate. But yeah, what do you call it? The 7 Deadly Sins game. It looks like Genshin, except there's like they show instances where you like literally call down one of your 7 Deadly Sin companions, and hurry up and get a thing. Sorry. And they like she literally summons forth like a giant rock thing that lets you like whip up a mountain. Like she puts down this huge rock formation that allows you to climb. And I'm like, that's so cool if they took the idea of summons and gave like, you know how Genshin has like support characters? What if you could have a support character that does various buffs and stuff like that? But what if you could instead just like go to them, but you never really go to them, but then you can just activate a bunch of abilities that they come in really quick, activate an ability, and then leave. And that ability could be like a huge traversal thing that literally like shapes like throws a giant rock formation mountain into another mountain so you can climb it easier, or into a giant boss for larger than life battles. Stuff like that's awesome. But what do you call it? The one thing that I was a little worried about, and I still am, is that I'm kind of like, the bones of the 7 Deadly Sins game look really interesting, but it's seemingly limited by being a 7 Deadly Sins game. Like the whole point of Genshin is like the fact that there's so many different ways to interface with gameplay. And I don't know if the manga has like limitless characters to pull from, or if they're willing to design a bunch of brand new characters. I don't know. Also, I gotta go condense this resin. And I think, Lone Second, do you need anything? Although I do need to get to this event, but I just want to know. Lone Syndicate says, Grin, look at my Bido. She has been upgraded, and look at Barbara. She holds my Yae Miko's gear. Oh, okay, I can't wait. Give me a sec, I gotta condense this. Kai says, I look forward to 2.5 story and 2.6 story. Me too. I'm interested to see what the chasm is all about. Yeah. There's a lot of, yeah. I think to be honest, I think 2.5 is going to be probably, well, no, I think 2.5, the reason why it has the potential to be, I feel like 2.5 is going to be story-based. That's going to be the predominant content. And I think 2.6 is going to be the chasm, which is going to be, I don't know how much gameplay is going to be in the chasm. I think it might be that, and then maybe we'll get like a tiny taste of Dendro. Or maybe they might save that for Sumeru, like all of it. Like not even like, you know, you can get a little bit. I don't know, because I'm basically thinking there's going to be a huge drought, like huge drought eventually. So I'm kind of like, oh, it's going to be unfortunate. I'll do my dailies later. Crazy says, just watch the new Spider-Man No Way Home. Was it good? I heard a lot of people talk. I don't honestly, I haven't heard many people talk a bit negatively about any of the Marvel games, Marvel movies as of recently. Fluff says, you act like he doesn't wear other clothes when going to battle or something. He could be his ceremonial official uniform. Yeah, it's not the idea of like him wear, it's literally like me fighting. It's like, it's be like me dressed up as Itto with like big ass shoulders and like big ass clothing and like throwing down with a giant claymore. You know what I mean? I feel like it'll look like he's wearing a penguin suit. Like the old 80s big ass jacket kind of vibe, which again, I like the idea of him. I don't like the idea of his color. And I do like the idea of the general outfit to some extent, but I don't like the bagginess of it, I guess. But maybe I haven't seen it enough as well, because I kind of have a skewed perception of it. I remember when I seen it, I thought it looked really big, like baggy, big, like, yeah, like a lot of mass. Kai says, just imagine Zhongli's shield was magic stain removal and dry cleaning. Yeah, just the whole Fort Knox, like a utility set. That'd be the interesting thing. What would be the actual character you'd want to play? Like, what would be the most, like, if you didn't want to save the world, what would be the best Genshin element to use? I feel like a part of me has got to be like, I think it's probably Geo. Like you could construct something. You could like make an iPhone in a world that like is awful. You can make bank. You could hire people, like people with visions to do quests for you, you know, rather than be like, I don't know, fire. Why? Why fire? Fire doesn't seem to hold form. Maybe Shang Ling can teach you something, but even then, good. Anyways, let's go do this quest. Oh, I cannot do it in co-op mode, Lone Syndicate. Have you replied to see? Maybe I'll look better when it's a game. Yeah, maybe. Again, I can totally eat my words here. I just think that's the one thing that makes his design a little bit weird for me, because I like everything above all else. Cryo is the best element. How so? In the game, you mean? Maybe. Yeah, you could, but it will melt. Whereas I feel like constructs seem like the whole point is that they're like they can last a long time. Not forever, but a long time. I think I would go Geo. You get protection, you get safety, you can build crazy shit. You could probably like dig into the ground easily, create like a tunnel into a mountain, have a house that's like huge, you know, form things. You know, what are you gonna form with anima? Wind? Great. Here's a breeze. I'll be honest, if I could choose any for just the sake of like, fuck it, I think it'd be cool, it'd be that. Go do the event. Okay. Quest mode, go to single player. Kai says, I haven't seen, oh, give me a sec. I can't see. Let me catch up on chat. Zhongli wears a dark suit and does just fine. Aito wears a suit and will do just fine. Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, we'll see it, Fluff. We'll see. For me, I think that completely misses the point. Maybe they make him like super slim, but in like if you look at Zhongli and you look at him side by side, there's clearly a bagginess to his outfit. But again, maybe that's just the design of the character. But when you actually get in game, they slim him up. He looks more like, you know, like actually not like wearing this huge penguin suit, a huge big suit. Which again, that's just where that's my only dislikement of it. So if that's not the case, then clearly I don't dislike it that much, you know. But I do, again, this is also the white color that to me throws me off. Let's get says Aito's burst is a hydro vortex that sucks enemies in. Sasha says, do you drink actual sugar or that substitute? What do you mean? Oh, for my coffee? Because for me, what do you call it? Well, I don't know, because I'd kind of go buck wild. Whatever's in front of me, I kind of consume, but if I start to feel shitty, I start not consuming it. But I've never had a problem with sugar, but I also exercise almost every day, so I feel like I sweat most of the bad shit kind of out of my body, but that could just be wishful thinking, and I'm 25, so I might be still drinking the fountain of youth a little bit for me not having any problems just yet, but yeah. Kai says, I would love a nice calf latte now. Ooh. But alas, it's a bad time. Yes, if it's too late, do not drink coffee. Sleep pattern is very important. Crazy says, it was good. Highly recommend watching it. Man, I gotta catch up. I'm pretty behind on the Marvel movies. Yeah, I think it's because I've always, like, ever since Iron Man, the first one, I loved it. It was like the best. It was so cool, and to me, I always like when things are really, really good, I like to enjoy them as much as I possibly can, if that makes sense. Where the hell is this fucking quest? Oh, it's down here. It's in Inazuma. Okay. But yeah, I like to really like slow down and actually enjoy something, and dedicate time to like fully enjoying it. But also because of that idea, I kind of am far away from like it takes me time to actually enjoy something. So like, again, I still haven't watched a lot of the shows that I want to watch. I think are going to be great. What do you call it? Reincarnates a spider, that one. Reincarnates a slime. The isekai other one. The one that's come out that people like so much. The Jobless. Like, there's a bunch of shows that I'm like, I got to watch this. But I just put them off because I know they're going to be really good. Or at least I think they're going to be good. Flowing says, maybe look better when it's in game. Maybe Crazy says, want to team up to fight bosses. I want to figure out what a good gear on and such. What do you mean, Crazy? What do you mean? Nub says, Crown's best element. Never have to play AC ever again. What? What do you mean? All the Ayato outfits slander is hilarious. Listen, I'll be honest. There's no foundation for it as well. It's like it's clearly what do you call it? If you like it, good. I don't like it. Well, actually, that's not even true. I guess that's why I'm fighting it a little bit. Is because I'm like, actually, I like the design. I just don't like the bagginess. Like, I like the idea of like a detailed armor set. Like I wish I had Ito, but Ito has like a lot of tiny designs in his armor, which I like a lot. So yeah. But I guess at the end of the day, to me, with the weird thing with Ayato is just the. I guess it's just how it looks in game. So if it looks pretty clean, then good. If it doesn't, then that's kind of where I'm like, I hope it doesn't look baggy, like super big, you know. But what do you call it? Zhongli's suit, like, never looked big to me. It looked like thin and slim, and maybe that's also the problem. Zhongli kind of makes sense for who he is to wear a suit, because he works as a funeral parlor and all this shit. Can we not do this right now? But maybe in the story, Ayato's the same way, where like, oh no, this totally fits. This makes sense. I'm okay with all this. Could be the case. Could be the case. Animo can help you fly. Yeah, but see, I don't know. The Animo one, like, a lot of people have that aspiration to fly. Do you realize how terrifying that would be? What if you just get hit by a plane? There's a lot of real estate in the air, I know. But what if a bird just comes and attacks your ass? Like you're just sitting there flying around. You're like, this is so cool. And then a raven just decides, fuck you. And you're trying, like, maybe there's some sort of mental capacity to be focused and fly. And this raven's just fucking your life up. And you're like starting to descend rapidly, you know? It seems like with me, I'll be happy on my ground, burrowing into a mountain, making a reinforced home in the mountain with electricity, with all this kind of cool tech, engineering stuff. Baths, being able to shape the ground and find a hot spring, maybe some bullshit. I don't know the implications. What Geo really means. Lone Ticket says, Yae will be the 8th Electro character, then after that, all I've got to do is level up Razor. How dare you? And I'll have 8 Electro characters. What's good? Topic says, Grinny, Grin, Chin Grin. I play Genshin now on PS5. Yeah, I got one of those recently. My character is level 5. Can we play together? Yet? No. I would love to play with you, Topic, but unfortunately, you have to be World level 8. World level 8. It's the lowest thing you got, World level 8. But I can't wait till that day happens. And hopefully we can play other games, like Dying Light 2 at some point, if they ever release crossplay and such. Lucy says, nope, Topic, yeah, you're gonna be level 8, Air 55, my bad. Crazy says, artifacts and swords and such, and passive effects. I just don't understand what you want to do, Crazy. Do you want to like jump in and you have to be with the right world level to jump in for, first of all, and 2, like you just want to like jump. To me, basically I wonder why. I feel like you'd be way more efficient, excessively like hitting the mark if you were like trying to test out what would be good with like you just doing it. So I'm trying to think why would I like what would be the point of me being like, go kill shit, Crazy? I'm missing that whole connecting thread, I suppose. Guy says, Crazy, that is very complex topic. Can you explain a bit more? Or do you want to know how to build a character, Crazy? Because that may be where I'm getting confused. If you're just like, no, Grant, I just want to know how you would fight a boss. How do you build a character to be strong enough to fight a boss? What are builds that exist within the game? Crazy says, I am enough to join. Okay, see. Lone Ticket says, I say Electro, so I would never have to pay a bill for electricity. But technically, you're in the world. See, like I'm under the basis of like actually like you're thrown in Genshin, you have to pick an element. You're in the Genshin world. I'm not far enough sure there's not like electricity in Genshin. I'm not talking about like our world. Otherwise, yeah, I'd still pick a fucking Albedo or fucking Geo. I would just like make gold, all right, like find gold or diamonds, and I would just sell them like crazy. I feel like there's a way to gamify one of these elements that has like limitless potential potentially, and that to me is Geo, the ability to like sift through rocks and like reform shapes and build like complex structures. With that being said, though, maybe we're also limited by Geo having. Well, no, because Zhongli can make like a structure last forever. So I feel like it's only like the limitation of Geo is only existing because of balance in the game, not because of what it actually would be in the overarching world. But anyways, is this voiced? Before I start this, is this voiced? Has anyone done it? Is this voiced? Crazy says, yeah, well, like Traveler, Doctor, and such. Crazy what? So lost. Well, yeah, well, like traveling, doctor, and such. What does that mean? Sasha says, guess you're not on the European servers, right? Kai says, gold, diamonds, geo supremacy. Exactly. Geo supremacy. You get everything. Hey, no city gets out there trying to pace out the voltage to not pay his electric bill. I don't know. Maybe if you could like put like an electric spark there and then just leave? But otherwise, how are you gonna like, you'd have to maintain the electrical output because the electricity is coming from you. And I don't think electricity just stays in the world space, you know? Maybe you'd have to like create some, batteries are shit. Batteries are shit. Now I'm kind of going back and forth between the Genshin world and the real world. Like which one is the best for the real world versus the Genshin world. It's unvoiced, thank you. We're just gonna run it. Just gonna run it through it. Hello, big chunky monkey. Losing it says, oh, in the Genshin world, yeah, Geo would be my pick, and no in voice. Thank you. Crazy says set bonuses, but what is your UID? Never mind, I choose Geo for both worlds. Well, I'm unfortunately stacking the deck. Like people could be like, hey, McA-hole, okay, let's say that electricity, okay, you have enough electricity to literally levitate things like Animo. You have enough electricity output to blast holes in the ground and do all that stuff. Also, electricity is like current in some shit, and you could be like, well, you could like shape structures too with electric. So yeah, you could get like real doucher about it. But to me, if we're, I don't know. I'm trying to think what would be the best element for both worlds. Fire fucking sucks. Fire just like, you can make things real hot. Like to me it'd be like, it's like the My Hero Academia question of like, what happens if you just got given a real destructive ass perk or trait? Like what if your power was to like mind control people and you're like, I mean, I can't, kind of fucking hard to like make that perfectly good, you know? What if your ability was to like literally cause nuclear explosions, and it's like, well, I mean, I could maybe make nuclear power. I could. No, this is rough. This is just rough. Talk to the tiny other man. Is this you? Look at you. Guy says, is it not possible to join higher world levels? No, you are allowed to join lower world levels, but you cannot join higher world levels. Yeah. So if I'm world level 8, and a person's world level 5, they can't join me, but I could join them. Oh, my heart. Nub says, as a cryo user in the real world. What? As a cryo user in the real world, can help delay global warming, which I would charge countries. So that's more money than Geo. Yeah, but see, that makes no sense. Like, yeah, sorry, I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but what do you call it? I don't want $1 billion. Are you fucking a psychopath? Do you realize that you're now just like a murder target for sure? To me, I just want enough to where I can fuck off and like live in a mountain and like be able to chill out, essentially, not have to fucking gun it. Maybe be able to like benefit the people around me as well. But as far as the whole like cryo meta for like decreasing global warming, first of all, that's a lot of output. That's like the what do you call it? Like we're gonna be hit by a meteor or something, or our star's gonna die in 1,000,000 years, but I'm gonna have enough power to charge the sun again with my fire output. Like, you know, it's just a super big scaling knob. But sure, I already also tipped the scale in my favor a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, Nub. I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, I just don't know. I feel like all it would do, like, I feel like if we ever got like something to clean the ozone, or like some sort of technology that would help with the whole global warming thing, I feel like, and maybe I'm a little bit of a nihilist a little bit about this, or a realist, or whatever you want to phrase it as, but I don't know, I feel like if we ever developed something that could like decrease pollution, all that would signal to people is, okay, so then we can pollute now because there's a way to repair it. And like, hey, you know, like, to me, I don't know, there has to be an equilibrium of like, people have to stop, and there's got to be a way to repair enough to where we do it. But I feel like people would use the technology that can repair for an excuse to cause more damage quicker, if that makes any sense, you know? but that could just be a little bit of a nihilistic point of view. Maybe you're right. Maybe people would be like, yes, we would just completely repair and then do maybe a little bit more damage, or just never do any more damage at all, you know? Maybe Nub is like, yeah, but then Grant, I would just rake it in. I would just keep raking in the money because they would keep fucking it up. But then I'm like, but then we would potentially just have more, like, I don't know. Because then what about, like, toxic sludge within the world developed by, like, horrible chem plants and etc., you know? Nub says, you're telling me people will try to kill someone who can literally freeze people to death at the drop of a hat. I mean, yes, absolutely. In fact, I think if you were just the kind of person that could freeze people to death at the drop of a hat, you would die faster, actually, because you were a threat to all mankind, essentially. You were functionally a walking nuclear bomb, and drones exist, and unless you're able to, like, perceive things at a mass distance, or you never want to leave your, like, ice castle, like Elsa or some shit, you would just get sniped in the back of the head by a drone or something, you know? So, to me, I'm in the business of making less enemies, just making some good old gold money, chucking that shit away, and then just hiding for the rest of my life in a mountain, okay? Maybe making, like, a cool, like, Japanese, like cave with, like, a beautiful sauna, a beautiful bath situation happening, a beautiful, like, starlit sky kind of thing that somehow is covered, because fucking Geo is also, like, weirdly, like, the ability to perceive things or hide things. It's almost like a conductor, whereas electricity is the source of energy. Seems like a, what do you call it, fucking Geo seems like a thing that can conduct magic, which is why I'm like, this seems a little bit broken for the world. Lone Syndicate says, Grin, why do you want to live in a mountain? I just feel like it'd be like free real estate, over like times 10,000. Also, I think it'd just be cool. You know what I mean? It'd just be like, hey, that whole thing there, I hollowed that whole bitch out and I reinforced it so it didn't crumble in on me and kill me. And now I just have hella real estate. I have hella real estate. Hey, you know that global warming shit that Nub's talking about? Absolutely safe. Well, mostly. And I'm just a part of the mole people. And I'm just killing it. Okay? I don't know. To me, I think it just... I heard someone talk about that once, and I thought it was an interesting idea. But, like, there's people always try to build upwards, but if you try to build down in a weird way, it's actually better. Because you can reinforce things in weird ways. I didn't know enough about it to really be like, this seems 100% safe. But to me, it was an interesting idea of how you could basically build, like, a shit ton of storage / whatever, right? You could have, like, industrial, like, people talk about how, you know, automation is going to replace all of our jobs and all that stuff. Well, you could build, like, a tomb, essentially, of, like, robot workers, kind of like fucking Horizon Zero Dawn, that just, like, crafts things in output, rather than people having, and you could cut down on, like, electricity with lights, and you could cut down on break time, because these robots would just be cranking away constantly, you know, in this facility kind of thing. But that's a little bit too much far future nightmare shit, but, you know, scary possibility, potentially. Anyways. Kai says, I would get Animo Vision for sure. I would not have a choice in the matter anyway. Why? You like the wind? I think if I, like, out of all the elements I like a lot, it'd be water or Animo. As much as I like Geo, I just don't have any passion towards it. I just think it'd be the best, you know? Sasha says, dude, can you imagine how for how long I'll be able to get a C6 character with $1 billion in my bank? I mean, yeah, Sasha, you're right. You'd be able to bank. You'd just be able to all. But also, you could just, like, again, gold is diamonds are worth a lot. Also, minerals, just minerals. You don't even have to do fucking diamonds. You just do, like, hey, I found an oil compound because I can literally feel through the fucking earth. That is 90% of. It's like being Superman, going to, like, Krypton or bullshit. Like, except you're going to Earth, which is whatever Superman is going to Earth. Except that you being the Superman that comes to Earth that gets the same benefit I get as Superman. Hindsight, horrible way to phrase it. Anyways, also I tried to go down, it didn't happen. Nub says, realistically, we are more likely to colonize another planet instead of solving the issue. I agree. And then it just becomes a continual cycle. But do you think we'll ever get so good at like making, we'll kind of become gods in a way? A little bit of a heady conversation, but do you ever think we'll keep because again, the way technology is exponentially increased over time, do you think we'll ever get to a point where we're like, now we're colonizing planets, sure, but now we're actually like finding, like, there's some sort of gene spliced plant that we like probe into a planet, and they just in a massively has like what is it called, a plant life boom, so that planet is now like plantified essentially, or maybe there's a way to like suck water out from the ozone or whatever the fuck it could be, I don't know. But do you think we'll ever get to that point of like, actually, if we ever do get to colonization, do you think we'll ever get to the point where we're kind of like, oh, human beings might have actually been like gods or become gods at some point? Someone to argue we're kind of already in that weird fucky's place, at least with the nuclear bomb. Christ alive. Also, I have no idea what we're doing. We're just kind of winging it. Sasha says, I can probably make my own Genshin impact with that money. It's true. It's true. I mean, again, I feel like you could make a lot. Like, again, if I'm going super, like, stack the deck in my favor, which is getting broken, same way Nub is like, I'm gonna fucking cool the whole planet. Okay. I would say that, like, Geo seems to be the art of an engineer, you know, creating tech, essentially, or structures or something like that. Like literally Zhongli creates a force field around himself. Yeah, and a pillar that pulsates with geo damage constantly. Albedo literally summons forth a flower that blossoms with AoE explosive damage in a way. Garu literally just makes you like 6 times stronger. Yeah. Geo, what do you call it? Fucking Itto literally builds a like sentient cow that seemingly has a conscious, or somewhat of a conscious, maybe robot at best. But yeah, we gotta play with this person. Hello. We just gotta look around. There he is. Nub says, oh wait, no, Kai says, if every country in the world sends their spies to catch you, freeze power won't help. Yeah, well, I don't even think I think just a drone with a sniper on it would do a lot. Could be a lot of bad. Like some high-end stabilization tech and shit. Yeesh. Pretty sure wearing a hyper-dense thin layer of sheet ice will protect me all the time. A layer of ice so dense that I can protect from a railgun. This is a lot. This is a lot. I don't know if I buy it. Maybe. I mean, okay. I feel like it would restrict you in some way. You know, like, yeah. I'm just kind of like, I guess, maybe it would, I don't know. I feel like even still, like, okay, you have they would poison you. They would send like a missile or like a thing. What is it? They would send like a little dart, like a bullet that has like a certain chemical in it, and then you would breathe it in. It would hit against the wall. You're like, what the fuck is that? And then you would breathe in fucking toxic fumes, essentially. So I feel like it doesn't quite protect you. Yes, impact maybe, but you're still a person who has to breathe. So yeah. Lone Syndicate says, Grin, gonna have his own Harada in the mountains as well. If that's the case, turn into a Harada protagonist. I don't know about that. To me, I just think, I don't know. I just think like people are always about like either like you got to become the hero or become the villain, and I'm just like, can I just fuck off somewhere and have a nice life? Like, maybe that is being the villain. Maybe not like using your potential to the utmost. But part of me is just like, I mean, man, I don't know. I feel like both are a future rife with trauma and pain. And I'm over here just being like, hey, I mean, is it fucked up that like maybe when I'm 80, I'm like, all right, now it's time to do something. But for right now, I'm enjoying the circumstance. Like some people are born with a crazy high proclivity to intelligence, sports, height, all that shit. So, you know, all I'm saying is I don't think it's that much different than you being able to completely reformat the structure of your environment. Same as people being tall, you know? God damn you. People being born into money is same shit. Advantages. Like Wookiee. Chewbacca. Lone Syndicate says, also Grin, don't forget to look at my... Oh, right, forgot about that. I'll do it right now before I forget. So we're just kind of saying hi to these things. In hindsight, I think I'll do this on my time because it's kind of... there's a lot of dialogue, and it seems relatively like, oh, he's over there. Oh, he's over here now. Okay. This is like the opposite, a horrible part of like hide and seek. It's like, what if you just had to find everybody, and that was it, and it wasn't even like hard. It was like a chunky monkey bear just kind of chilling out, hiding from you constantly. And I'm like, what? What? Are you high? Who designed this? Lone Syndicate is right here. Check information. We got, what was it? Your Lisa was holding? No, your Barbara. Your Barbara was holding. But you did say to check out your Bido. Your Bido looking pretty goddamn good. Decent amount of critical rate. A lot of critical damage. Actually, a lot of critical rate. I think too much. Electro charge. Did you put on the one set? No, you have your classic tried and tested set. Nice. But you did say Barbara, the good old mule as she is. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what? What? You have 246 critical damage. And by the way, his ratio on critical rate is ungodly. The reason why is because, what's her name? In fact, I think you may have too much critical rate. Probably not. But yeah, what do you call it? Yae Miko scales off of critical rate. So he'll have like, I think, what is it? Almost 600, 64 maybe? I don't know, something like that. That's crazy though. Did you have Electro Cup or did you? Yeah, you have Electro Cup. Yeah, that's insane. I don't know how it's gonna be bad. Oh, you have no Elemental Mastery though. Let me get Sacrificial Fragments. Yes, it is. Ooh, you have Refinement rank 5 though. God damn. And you're rocking that set. Yeah, it seems like all good. Seems like all good. Crazy Lone Syndicate. I don't even know how. I probably want to go look at your artifacts, which we might do, but yes, Jesus. 246 critical damage is a good bit, is like a lot. Kai says, Grin, you have put a lot of thought into this scenario. What did I say? What did I say? I blacked out. I don't know what I said. What was it about me like selling shit or whatever? I don't know. Kai, you should know at this point, I am on 100% autopilot the whole time. Unfortunately, this is unfiltered insanity from me boy. I do think the runner-up though would be Electro. But Kai, I'm curious, why did you say that Animo would be the only choice? Why? Oh, you're left. Okay. Sorry, Kai. Kai says, Grin, gotta go. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, Kai. Nike, bye. Be sweet. What's good, Red? Ooh, Kai leaves. Red comes back. They might be the same person. We'll see. I know you're not. Yeah. I'm always worried the person's like, you think do you not remember me? And I'm like, dude, I remember everybody, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Oh, I can take a picture of this little man. Oh, I gotta stand right here. Oh, cool. Just lets you do that. Nice. Cute. And they're like, by the way, have you ever fought the Boar King? Oh my god, look at this fight. Who would have thought this existed? God damn you. This. Boba. Go fucking stop it. God damn you. Give me particles. Get in the fucking. Ah, damn it. That's fine. He's not that tough. He's not that tough. I remember when Boar King used to give me a little bit of grief. Has the night been, Seb? Not Seb, Red, sorry. See, I remember everybody, but their names constantly become melded in my horrible brain. Nub says, no, I don't believe. Ancient civilization thing. What did I think? What did that refer to? Do you mean like the Atlantis meta? Like the Atlantis theory? Of like there was because there is proven to be like recently. That's my only thing that like a civilization that came before us is a little bit interesting, is because there's like fact about one thing of it, but it's not like it's kind of a hard thing to go all the way. But there's basically a thing where it says people used to think that like a point in time where human beings began their kind of journey or sentient life or whatever they want to phrase it on Earth was at a certain time period, and they were like really malicious to that's the right word, like really strict about saying that this was the time when humans, you know, came into existence generally. But then they found like skulls and like tools, like I think it was sticks and like forks or some knife, something sharp, and they found a broken skull and something eaten out of it. Like clearly there was something intently trying to do a thing. But anyways, it was enough to where scientists had to be like, okay, no, this puts like the dawn of a creature, whatever it could be, way before any of our previous understandings of when there was, you know, cognitive life on the planet that was able to develop, you know, tools and survive through those kinds of means, I guess. But that happened recently. As far as I go, as far as Grant Hancock's, hell of a name, perception of that there was like an ancient civilization kind of idea of like, yeah, people believe that the pyramids, let's get into the weeds a little bit. I just like hearing cool conversations, essentially, and I think I always like fun things to think about, even though they made completely bullshit. I just think it's fun. But they were talking about something about, what was it? It was that like the it's not even like up for debate anymore, I don't think. That's again, it's one of those things that like started off as a niche theory, but then actually became 100% provable, essentially. But it was something to the effect of, not 100% provable, I should rear that back, but apparently the pyramids, which I know people always go, pyramids, aliens, but it's not the case. It's literally just the pyramids were basically created when there was a fuck ton of fauna, and like the whole desert was all plants, essentially, because there's like corrosion damage on them. And I don't think that's very disputed, that the deserts were once just vistas, which also makes you fucking terrified for what global warming can actually be. You know, the shifting of a planet and how that could affect the whole world could be pretty drastic, and some people think, it's just gonna get a little warm. It's like, well, it could be real bad. But anyways, there are people who think that like there was a person who came upon the Sphinx and stuff like that and then built atop it, that kind of thing. Who knows? I don't know. I think it's fun conversations. I always think it's fun. I know some people get like pissed. Some people are like, fucking stop talking about this bullshit, lies. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just think it's fun. Why are you so invested in it, in it being false? I don't know why. I'm not very invested in it being real, frankly. I just think it's interesting. You know, I don't think that's what you're doing though. I just think that's why I've always heard across the pond, frankly. Crazy says, law, I can just imagine that one Rick and Morty episode where Rick's spaceship is powered by people in a tiny universe, in like some slavery thing. Yeah, but then each like universe develops their own fucked up kind of like a version of like slavery slash, like they try to develop like a community around getting the benefit that they need, essentially. Weird. And then they take his idea and make another tiny universe, and then another tiny universe. Yeah, and it just keeps going like deep, where everyone's just kind of a shitty bastard about like, we don't want to work, we don't want to work hard. Fuck this person, which honestly makes sense. Who are you? Who is someone else to benefit wholeheartedly from your thing? But what if you developed an AI or a biological like thing that thought a very specific way, or needed you in some way, or was overjoyed by you by doing the thing that you needed them to do, essentially. So you drastically rework the incentive structure for their brain to where they got dopamine and etc. on doing a certain thing. Now, of course, horror movies go like fucking on cloud nine, and they're like, yeah, but then you didn't account for this one mental loop, essentially, and then it all goes to shit. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's, you know, it's possible you could fuck up, but yeah. Such says, with electrovision, I can make a free mining farm for Bitcoin. Yeah, you could drastically decrease the carbon footprint. You could make the blockchain viable for the future or some shit. I don't know. Like everyone just knows words, like hot button words like the blockchain. What was another one I heard recently that I've heard like so many times? Oh, what was it called? Oh, it's something to do with like cryptocurrency. No, it was something to do with NFTs. What was it called? Maybe it was the blockchain. I don't know. It's like some other word where as soon as I hear it, I'm like, oh, yes. Yes. The technology. I'm just like, no one knows what the fuck 90% of people are talking about. All right, nobody. And if you do, goddamn, good for you. I mean, I get like surface level shit, but I don't get enough to like feel like I'm confident in communicating this at all. Great. Oh, she teleported. That's what happened. All right, a little bit less mad. Isn't it such a fun mechanic where like as soon as you get to a character, they just teleport away, and you're like, this is the best. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for doing this. Please have enough. Yes, thank God. Have enough just survivability to not get immediately eviscerated. But you have a lot of defense though, so that makes sense. Sasha says, oh right, the Bitcoin thing. Red says, good. Recently woke up, ate, watched a movie. Now I'm here. What movie you watch? What movie you watch? Oh, by the way, I finally finished Classroom or Deadly Class. That's what it's called. The last 4 episodes are kind of shitty. Like the show does such a good. You guys, yeah. I'm just gonna finish my train of thought. If people know, then you know. But what was it? Something like the show is like the first 6 episodes are so unique. They do the really cool things like the John Wick world building of like, okay, here are all these teachers. Here are what they're gonna teach you. But then very quickly, it feels like around the 6th episode of that show on Netflix, it feels like it dissolves into like a CD dub. What's that? Like network CW. Like executive was like, I know how to get this to sell, and then they just made up a bunch of like weird shit where there's like, oh look at this. There's like a 4-way love triangle happening. Awesome. Hey, by the way, there's 6 different types of conflict happening. So as soon as this one gets resolved, there's 6 others waiting for you. You can't feel happy or relaxed at all, bitch. And it's just that, which I don't know. To me, I find that's played out to death a little bit. And the show started so fucking strong to me. I still like it. I still want the show to have a sequel. And I just thought this is why I haven't heard a lot of things about it. Because the final 4 episodes kind of throw everything to shit, essentially. That's my opinion. Losing it says, yeah, look at them. Yae starts with my Yae stats. My Yae is gonna hit like hard as hell. Yeah, no, I don't know how she could not hit hard as hell. Yeah. Especially with, again, like I don't like, you technically do have, or you have the potential to either have a fuck ton of attack, a fuck ton more electrical damage, or element of mastery, which I think like those will kind of equal out in I think somewhat equal ways, you know, with maybe her being able to double dip into element of mastery more than others, you know. You know. Where are we going? Did we do the first phase and there's phase number 2 maybe? We got claim. There we go. Next. No, we got to hit RB. There we go. Not a very rewarding bit of business, frankly. A little bit sad, honestly. It's like your reward is a bunch of dialogue talking to a jolly bear. Not right. Keep your event. I'll leave. Nub says, I don't think global warming is a big deal, and we shouldn't really care about it. Oh, really? That's what you think? You think? Yeah, man. I don't think that personally. Yeah. I think. I don't really care about communicating what I think on this. Honestly, some things I'm like, I don't know. To me, I kind of go into my head about like I don't really. I've heard everything, man. I understand people's sentiment about being like exhausted by it. I get that. That makes clear sense to me. But I don't know. The idea of it doesn't matter entirely is, I don't know. I guess that's also what I have a frustration, I guess, with the idea of. I always find it annoying when people have a defeatist mentality when there's a potential thing coming or a potential like when there's something that you are doing. How do I put it? It's hard to put. I always dislike the choice of nothing can be done. We're fucked. Hey, but I don't have to change. I always hate that idea. Like that soul of reasoning to me always rubs me in a bad way. Because it's like, of course you don't believe or care about anything happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so to me, I don't know. To me, I'm always just like, well, easy for you to say. I want to have kids and I want them to have a lovely life. I want my fucking friends' kids, my family, my people, you guys to have a better and funner and more enjoyable existence. And yeah, so to me the whole idea of like, well, I don't want to change or I don't want to do anything, so I'm just gonna not even try. I'm gonna throw in the towel and whatever. I'm gonna live my best life. They fuck those people. To me seems like, yeah, toxic, a little bit bad. I don't like it. But some people also are not arguing that. Some people are just saying, well, wait, there's a better way to handle this. You know, maybe people are saying, no. I would just say, it's not like I don't want a better world. I would just say, take all the resources you're going to put into this and put it into getting off the fucking planet. And I'm like, okay, but do we have a better world on Mars? Like, Mars is a pretty barren-ass place. The one thing that excites me about Mars, though, is the fact that it's so fucking huge. Like, it's like, I think, just monstrous. Like, but also that's terrifying. Like, the amount of travel would be nuts. At least I think. Am I wrong? I thought Mars is fucking huge. It's also barren as shit, though. So it's like, it's a lot of nothing, I guess. That's not to say that we couldn't make something of it, you know? Develop technology that could pull water into and create water in some way. Red says, you have a lot of unchecked on your screen, kinda triggered. You have a lot of unchecked on your... What do you mean? What does that mean? What does it mean, Red? The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, extended edition. Ooh, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's the whole goddamn movie, right? Yeah, people love The Lord of the Rings, man. They go buck wild. Good for them. I haven't watched them all. I've watched the first two and I thought this is really cool. Again, the story of my like movie and TV experience has always been the same thing, which is I like it a lot, but no one ever told me about it and I had other things to do, so I did those. Even though they weren't more enjoyable, it was just something that I needed to get done at the time, you know? Nub says, the fact is this, we can't really do anything to stop it at this point. It will just wipe us out, but by the time it does, we'll have a solution to it. Also, I have the luxury of not having to deal with it. That to me is the crux of what I dislike about it, is people who say nothing can be done are people who it benefits the fact that nothing can be done. You know what I mean? Like if you were choking on gas and you're like, yeah, nothing can be done, I'm gonna die in like 3 years. Then you're like, yeah, hopefully something can be done. You know, but the idea they're like, I don't have to change, but my future kids, nieces and nephews and beloved people in the future, I want them not to have to deal with it, or I want them to have to deal with it less, you know? I don't know. But then there's an argument of like, well, and this is the one to me that makes sense about the whole, you know, the global warming thing, is that you're putting money in pockets that may have zero interest in actually helping the problem. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you're not developing ways to like actually repair. You're developing ways to limit, which doesn't fix the problem. You know what I mean? So I understand the idea of like, wait, let's stop creating weird. Because what do you call it, dude? Something happened recently in America. I didn't see it personally in Canada. I'm sure it exists, but it was something like that was what it was. It was a really interesting idea. What do you call it? Elon Musk, and this is an Elon Musk, I don't know how you feel about him, but I just thought it was an interesting idea. But he's basically, people were coming at Elon Musk for being a billionaire and having like all of these things. He's a polarizing figure. People dislike him. I'm not here to talk about that. I just think the idea that he persuaded was interesting. But he basically said, people were criticizing him for like having enough money to basically solve world hunger. And he said he's fully willing to give like all of his money if two requirements could happen. You could prove that you could functionally feed everybody forever, like, or not even forever, just feed everybody, and you would have to show where every single penny would go to. That was his like deal, essentially. And I think I heard something somewhere else in politics as well, where basically the idea was, I'll 100% do this thing, I'll give you this money, I'll do this deal, I'll run this thing through, but all of the money that is ever spent is publicly known. So we can see where it goes. And every single time it shuts it down, like immediately. So that to me just makes me feel like super disheartened for every benefit ever. Because clearly people who are wanting this to go through, or wanting it to go through in a way that makes it so certain people can gain an advantage. And it's kind of just like, it's the same person, the person that's like, nothing can be done. Except they're like, nothing can be done, but I'm gonna get mine. And it just feels like, I don't know, the amount of times that I just feel woefully, like some people talk to me about various things, and I always come back to the same thing, which is like, I can't change the world, I can only change myself. But that's why, man. Otherwise, you'll just get crushed. Like, yeah, you don't want to give up, but sure as shit, that's something I always feel like I'm lost in. It's just the idea of like, every time I look at stuff like that, it makes me feel like, I can't do anything. How could you change anything? How do you not just feel smothered by the shittiness of others' cost-benefit analysis, all this kind of shit, you know, or needing to get an advantage or ahead. It's almost like nothing feels like it can be done, and you kind of just gotta sit in hopelessness, or you just do the best that you can in your little environment, your little pocket of the woods, you know. But yes, I'm gonna catch up on chat because I talked for a little bit too much. You guys are part of this. Sorry. Fluff says part of the process of global warming is natural. We've been exiting an ice age and an eternity of human history. We can't really reverse or stop it, and will eventually hit us a peak behind towards the next ice age. Well, that's what I've heard from people who are also talking about it, where people say like it's an inevitability. This is a cycle that the planet always goes through. But I don't think it's ever been. Well, it probably has been the argument at some points. But I thought the argument was the strongest version of the global warming argument is the fact that human beings are contributing to the acceleration of the planet and its heat cycle, essentially. And then the strongest version of the other argument, in my opinion, is, well, there's no way you can stop. Like 90% of the world's pollution comes from a couple third world countries, I believe, that just throw their garbage in the trash. And 90% of the oxygen in the world, or something, not 90%, but a good bit of the oxygen in the world is produced by algae in the water. So if you wanted to make a dent, that's where you would do it. So that's kind of like the good argument, in my opinion, for like the same counterpoint. People who say like global warming is not the bet we should be hedged on. Those are the two strongest arguments that I've seen. Is one, we should be funding the right things that actually repair or solve, not just limit the inevitable explosion, essentially. But then people also argue that, like on the other end of like global warming 100% exists, we're causing it. It's, well, we should slow it down enough to where we can develop technology that where our grandkids can have a future, you know. So yeah. One thing it says the event was already a calm, God revised place we've been. Oh, is that what it was? Or just you're going to a place we've already been? Now it says, I think the easiest solution will end up being is a fan to block a part of the sunlight to get a lessen the effect. Crazy thing about that. Crazy says, at least you can claim land right away before government finds out life could really live up there. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah. Fluff says, and just about all of us will never see much of a decline from said peak if it happens in our lifetime. Yeah, I don't know, man, because I hear, like, I don't know. One of the things that I try to do, and I'm not sure if everybody does it, I hope people do it, but I feel like people, with the weird, a bit like, how do I put it? With the weird, like, tribal mentality of people, like, people want to be right, they want their side to be right. People are very quick to make to say I stand here, which is totally human nature, and that's okay. But to me, the one thing that I always like and I always appreciate is when someone engages with the strongest version of the argument, because I've seen that throughout the last couple of years as like the most prevalent strategy in ever. Politics, ideas, solutions, topics, anything. People just find the one thread that they can pull and they try to use it to see, like, did invalidate your entire argument, which is why it sucks that, like, it's weird because it's like this fine balance of being correct, but also you need people to pay attention, so people use exaggerative examples to try to leverage their advantage in the argument or communication, when it's not shouldn't be an argument, it should be the way to find a solution. But alas, yeah. Alone Sigga says, Grin, for your wishes on Yae, are you gonna save for the next Thursday stream, or are you gonna make a video on it? For what do you mean? We stream on Tuesdays. What do you mean? Grin, for your wishing on Yae, are you gonna save it for next Thursday? Does Yae come out on Thursday, or does she come out on Tuesday? I thought she came out on Tuesday. Oh, I see. It's right, because it's a brand new patch. It's gonna be late. I might make a video then. Yeah, I'll make a video. I think that's what I'll do. I'll make a video. We'll cover that wish. Probably do that. Yeah. there is a little to nothing that can that an individual can do to the major impact. Yes, I don't think that's true though. Like I know that's not true. That's like technology is created and fundamentally reshapes the entire world. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a feeling that I think everyone gets smothered by. But I think there is plenty of examples of people like redefining an entire thing with an idea, with a hope, with an aspiration. You know. Nub says Elon Musk would never, but he knew no one would take him up on the. Yeah. See that? Yeah. That to me was the thing that was like, because I agree. I'm not sure if he'd actually take the bet, but it was one of those moments where I was just like, no one's doing this, and that to me just like spoke so many volumes about the idea of like no one accepting that. You know, the idea of like, hey, I'll give you this money, but we got to make sure we're actually solving the problem that you're saying you're going to be able to solve, because I don't want you to be able to hide from like, oh, it just didn't work. You know, it's like, no, bitch, you just gave all the money to shitty people or to specific people who were doing poor with it, you know? Love says, and they're far too much fear-mongering regarding clean nuclear energy. Yeah, no, I do agree. I've heard people talk about that where like people are so terrified of Chernobyl, but that was like the worst built thing ever, you know? And actually, nuclear energy is like one of the best energies, shockingly enough. Max says, like, if someone broke it down, like the amount of nuclear energy that, that the plant would produce is like the equivalent of a can of soda, and the amount of like other toxic waste that is made by other means is worse almost, just with batteries, you know, with the anyways. As far as too much fearmonger, what's good, Max? Max says, "Hey, Grin, how you been? It's been a while. It hasn't been that long, Max. It probably has, but sometimes when people are here consistently enough, I feel like as soon as I see you, and I'm like, yeah, it's our boy Max. I know Max. What's good, Max? Max, it's been pretty chill, frankly. I'm having a lovely time with Dying Light 2. Can't wait for Elden Ring. It's looking pretty good right now. How's it been for you?" Fluff says, humans have an impact on the cycle, yes, but as an individual cannot do much other than influence those around us to do better. If you can convince the corporation elites to do better. I mean, I don't know, man. To me, there's a good example of like I know it's so fucking annoying because I don't like. It's hard to not commend people on being like, some people are like, human beings are flawed. But sometimes flawed human beings do really cool things. And I hate that I almost like by commending somebody's effort and the good thing that they did means I endorse all of the forever things that they've ever done ever, you know? But anyways, like to me, Elon Musk did a pretty big thing that I didn't think would be possible, which is to make a dent in the fucking colossal gas and all that industry. Now, whether he's net positive, I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about an individual who basically came up with ways to make wealth and to have genuine ways to improve the world in drastic ways. To me, that's pretty cool, you know. Like, and that's that. I mean, maybe not everyone's like a super genius, you know, but you don't have to be. I don't think. You just need to have one inference of improving the world, and that can take you really far. And then you can build resources. Like, to me, I don't 100% subscribe to the idea that the individual has no power, I guess. And some could say maybe in that case, it's the individual garnering enough power and support from 1,000 different other value chains, variables, that they build a better world. I don't know. Sasha says, fun fact, Chernobyl is 8 hours away from me. What? What? Gonna visit it soon. Jeez. I also heard something about that, Sasha. I heard people say that like the damage of Chernobyl was, I don't know how to put it. Basically, they put it like, it's bad near the place, but it's not like the most polluted thing ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad. I don't want to stress that it's not corroded and radiation filled. But people made it seem like it was just spewing out like horrible radiation-filled creatures. But it's pretty self-contained, I thought, or something like that. It was something where people were like, the damage is bad, but the media makes it seem like it's a walking like radiation thing. There's like a couple places that are high radiation based, but I thought was it. But that one seems a little bit like I'm not sure about it yet, so I should bite my tongue. Oh, so there's a fucking thing right there I was supposed to take. God damn it. Fluff says they have resources and capability of fixing things. Guilting the average Joe about it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do enough. I mean, I don't know, because I also feel like the average Joe can become the like, you know, the eccentric, incredible person. You know, like, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of where I feel. I don't feel like the average Joe, I don't think is the average Joe. I think the average Joe and a different person is like a small chance away from an idea or a proposition or anything like that, right? Yeah. Like, to me, it's kind of like, it's the same sense of like nothing can be done because, you know, and this is my, you know, I may get in trouble for this, but I don't like the idea of like, well, nothing can be done because I was born in this skin color. You know, nothing can be done because I was given this shorthand in life. You know, nothing can be done because, to me, there's always that I don't like the defeatist mentality. And that's not to say that you don't have actual, like, resistance and unfair resistance in your life. But it doesn't change the fact that you still need to swim. You still need to climb. You still need to live. You still need to try to thrive. Yeah, so I don't know. Kind of the whole, like, nothing can be done feels a similar way of, like, well, I'm always going to be this way and nothing will ever change. And yeah, you know, it kind of has that same sense of like a giving up mentality or defeatist kind of feeling. Again, the thing that I think just me and Fluffer, the only thing that I think deviates us, because I think we're on the same page, is just I would like to hope that with enough effort you could completely change and become something impossibly good for the world if you chose to. Now, whether you have to, that's the one thing where I think I would deviate a little bit, is say that, like, some people say that you gain nothing by like ridiculing the common man, a common Joe, the common person, to be better, etc. You don't get much from that. But my whole thing is, I just think you shouldn't what do you call it? You can't expect people to like give away everything, etc. Yeah, people need to survive, and there's maybe a good reason why people don't just are completely selfless, you know, or value the one thing that you value, you know. So that to me is where I would go with that a little bit. But yeah, where am I? Oh, I got kind of math. Look at the thing, me. God damn it. Red says, only way I see convincing the corpse is if it is profitable for them. Yeah. Well, that to me is the one thing that I've always thought was interesting. Is like, again, I watched an anime recently called The Realist Hero, and it's basically the realist hero rebuilds a kingdom, which is the whole idea of it, which I don't know if it's gonna get into yet. You know, it kind of does actually, but basically he says like, his whole thing is that he has to realistically repair the world, and one of the ways I think he does that, it's kind of quick, but he basically says like, starting now, you are no longer going to be able to do this, but you're not going to get punished for having done it. And also, you're going to have like a year period of grace to where you can actually start to like piece together stuff. So you're not just going to be like, well, now I have to, all of my employees are now going to starve because this is how we were making money, and this is the whole point of the business is to make money, and now we're kind of fucked. You know, it doesn't do that. Max says, I feel Grin would be I feel like I would not be. Max says, I feel like Grin would be a good motivational speaker. I absolutely disagree. But I appreciate your comment. Very sweet. But I don't know, man. I feel like I'm the last person that should talk, frankly. I feel like the most clueless on things. But I don't know. To me, I try not to be afraid of talking because I want to not be wrong. I want to deeply understand the world and its complexities. I want to have a reverence for how complicated things can be and how there's hopefully a chance that you can actually make them better, you know? Fluff says, so many names. Fluff says, my point isn't that there's little that we can do, so why bother? It's that if we can influence those around us by living by example, and thus hopefully influencing those that can do have a sizable impact, can actually change is good. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, so the same kind of premise that I believe in is like you can only control what you believe, but also I would add, and this is where I think we deviate, but I would add, I think it's possible to become, like if you chose right now, if you were you had some sort of life-changing event that made you say, no, I got 100% like dedicate the rest of my life to this thing, and you made a dent, you're the culmination of a creation that could set the world free almost, you know? So I feel like the common man could actually have like a completely world-shattering effect. As much as I do believe you should live through example, I do think it is also possible to devote your whole life to something and to maybe have a shred of an impact, if not a whole crazy impact. The shittiest thing about that, though, is that it's not really going to give you anything. Like, you could come up with some sort of scientific technology or idea that fundamentally, like, you don't get to reap in. Like, like Nikola Tesla is like the best example ever. The dude, like, I think suffered alone by himself in like a shitty apartment, and he's like one of the grandfathers of a lot of the things we actually use today, which is just like, that's your reward for wanting to change the world, is being like ridiculed and destroyed. And I guess that's a good example of like the negatives to like one person trying to change the world, you know, is how cruel the world can be to those people. But I still think it's possible, as much as it's rare, you know. Sasha says, last year our president said that over the next 3 years we would be restoring Chernobyl and planning to make it a place of tourism. I already thought it was a pretty big place of tourism, but it's interesting to hear that they're restoring it. Yeah. I thought the rest of the sentence was, and we're building a better Chernobyl. Like, I guess the damage is already done in that area, but shit. But I'm happy that wasn't the thing. Actually, I should be happy that it would happen, because again, I think nowadays, if they're actually building it like in a smart way, it wouldn't be the worst, you know. Fluff says the average consumer doesn't influence what a company does. The investors do. I don't think that's true either, Fluff. I mean, I understand your point. Like, the investors do a lot, but if the corporation is no longer making money, then the investors will have to, or if like the stock price goes, because it's not just about investors. Everyone can be an investor in a weird way. So if the stock price fails, people stop buying the product, then that's the thing. So in that case, an individual can have a massive power over a giant corporation. Now, whether the corporation just has better, advertising and better public sway for perception, maybe. Max says, you got a good voice for it. I don't know about that, Max. Very sweet. I always want to make clear that whenever someone says something like that, it's really, really kind. And for me, it's funny because when I was in high school, I did this personality test. It's like the most like personality test thing, and I don't know if you subscribe to if those are even remotely correct. But the one that I got was, and I think this is woefully silly. But the one that I got was philosopher, whatever that is. And it sucked because there was only like two paths, which was to be a coach or to be a guidance counselor was one of the ones, or a therapist. That was the other one. So there's like 3 courses of like, hey, this is what your like proclivity could be towards. And to me, I kind of settled on, well, I want to make people happy and I want to entertain people and be there for people. So that's why content creation on YouTube and Twitch and all these things were kind of the way I went about it. But yeah, I always thought that's like, I've always felt like the most clueless person in the entire room. You know what I mean? I've always felt like the person who's the last person should give advice, but people keep, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. To me, the way they made the philosopher personality trait sound was like a person who's, like the picture was literally Moses holding 2 tablets. And I'm like, fucking what? Shut up. Anyways, but I don't know. I find, again, like I guess I'm at odds with that idea of like, I don't know anything kind of thing. But I appreciate it, Max. It's very sweet. People say this, yeah. Anyways, Sasha said, but there's still gonna be some territory locked for it. Yeah, because isn't there like a room that's like one of the most like top trend weirdness thing? But in Chernobyl, there's a room that's so irradiated that if you go in there for two minutes, you'll die or something. Oh man, I was hearing a story. I was hearing a podcast, and someone said, it was talking about a story that to me was just crazy. But they were working with some sort of radioactive compound in like a lab, and and it was like a bunch of people in the lab with him. And basically, this was like the heyday of them working with radiation, I think. And like really like, this is I think like the adduction of nuclear power like period of time where they're just basically dealing with really dangerous material. Anyways, but there's a story where this scientist literally dropped like a vial or something and it cracked. And then a person who is like another scientist in the room basically took off his gloves, put him down and said, "Well, gentlemen, we'll all be dead within 2 weeks. Good day." And he basically left. First of all, what a badass way to go. 2 weeks later, they all died because of radiation poisoning, essentially. Or something like that. But to me, I was just like, fuck. That's so shit. Like, I was surprised you wouldn't just spear tackle that son of a bitch who broke it. But I don't know. To me, I'm just like, that's fucking brutal. But also, that guy is a fucking bamf. The dude is just like, well, we're gonna die, guys. I'm gonna go home. And they went home, you know? Brutal. Sasha says like 10 kilometers around exploded. Yeah, that's a good idea. Would you? Oh yeah, you're planning on going, right? I was about to say, would you go, Sasha? Is there a goba? Sure. Goba. Yes, I want to eat a goba. A god. A god-like teddy bear creature. Oh, my stomach. Fluff says, I'm not disagreeing. You are arguing about this. Oh, well, first of all, I'm not really arguing, frankly, Fluff. I'm not disagreeing. You are arguing. Oh, I see. No, I see. That's what you're saying. Okay, you're saying, I'm not disagreeing or arguing. My point were on what is really, what it really takes. It's like a whole give a man a fish versus teach a man to fish analogy. Okay. Yeah, no, to me, that's where I was getting a little confused because I feel like you're the identical to me a little bit, Fluff, in that specific sense of like, I don't really enjoy virtue signaling stuff, and I don't really enjoy people telling by a consequence of, I don't know. I hate when people answer, again, I hate when people engage with the weakest part of an argument. For me, with a lot of things that we see in our daily life, is what do you call it? The idea of, like, for instance, a lot of things that people associate with sorrow in the world, an induction by race or an induction by sexuality or an induction by intelligence, maybe, whatever it could be. My whole thing is the whole problem seems to be suffering. So why not, instead of attacking in a very specific lens, attack the whole overarching thing of if you have suffered, we will help you. Instead of it's if you have suffered and you were a part of XYZ bracket beforehand, like description, then you get benefits, or then you specifically get benefits. Like, to me, I don't want to get into it, but the whole, like, one of the best fucking speeches of all time is Martin Luther King saying, what do you call it? Like, he basically said we are all one. Like, we all want to move forward together with a better world, you know, and that to me is lovely. But anyways, the reason why I was bringing that up is because when I was reading one of your messages, maybe I misread it, but it seemed like it was the to me the whole like idea of how to put it, like, I guess there's two things. One of them is like, yes, you can become anything you choose to. You can become the person that learns how to fish, and not just the person who asks for handouts and etc. Or asks for fish all the time. But also, you can be the person that teaches others how to fish. You can also be the person that creates food for other people, different ways, I guess, to crack that egg. Fluff says, as an individual, we can spread positivity in a small way that will ripple into a bigger positivity. Where the pebbles tossed into the river, small impacts, greater results with time. What if you throw a fucking meteor in there, though? Because there's some people who can do that. So that's the only thing that I'm like. I agree that the smallest pebble can crack a mountain. I guess that's the coolest way I could phrase it. Like a diamond can split rock, all that. But at the same time, I'm also like, there is people who maybe through luck, but maybe also just through hard will, can actually like genuinely reshape the world, I guess. And again, I also think that like one of the biggest things for suffering within the world is a correlation with technology advancement. But yes. Also, Sasha says, yeah, he is like Okay, GG boys, see ya. What do you mean? What do you mean? Lone Syndicate says, also played some more Outriders today and started the Technomancer. Made it to level 17, World Tier 8 today, and I'm having a great time. Lone Syndicate, I am happy to give that game a break, because man, to me, I tried to hold back because I did like having a game to play again, because we was at a time where we were in a big like nothing happening in Genshin, the big nothing burger. But what do you call it? The thing that drove me a little nuts. Also, where are we going? Is this cook some delicious sweet madame? Okay, sweet madame. Is this the one? No, it's new actually. Sweet madame. Give me a sec. Oh, but basically with the whole Outriders thing, I don't know, man. I just got really I was really disappointed by the idea that nothing really changed. It changed. Not really changed, you know, like it was still like, no, you still needed builds that had so much damage. You still got one shot by shit constantly, even though you had pretty good gear stats and right perks. So to me, I was like, oh, that's a little bit disappointing. It's a little bit sad. But also, I know some people really like that challenging aspect of it. I personally have always found it a little bit like, which is funny, because I like challenge. I just like challenge when there's a way to gain an advantage and a way to like flourish. When sometimes I feel like in those games, at least in that game, it felt like, again, you were just blitzkrieging people, and then you got like tapped once and you just got dropped, and I was like, that's not fair. It's not like, that's not remotely fair, you know. You enjoy a delicious meal. Did he eat too much? Are you okay there? What do you call it, ladies and gentlemen? Has anybody here had the weird symptom of like you just sitting here and then like you doing nothing physical labor-wise or exhaust-wise, and you just start sweating, like your armpits are wet, like with sweat? Because I've had that happen this whole week, and apparently it's weird because I don't feel sick. Like my whole body feels like really clear and not sick, but then I have that shit happening. And I sometimes feel like really weak, so I'm like, I guess maybe my body is fighting something. Fluff says, regarding gaming discussion, I'm enjoying Monster Hunter Rise, Dying Light 2, and will be trying Lost Ark tomorrow, saving for Elden Ring. Nice. Yeah, man, is Lost Ark you have to pay for that game, right? It's not like a free-to-play game, right? But speaking of Outriders, I've got Game Pass till the end of the year. I was planning on playing it soon, and on Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, what do you call it? Outriders, I will say it's a good game to play. But just for me, if you like a game that has deep end game, I don't know if that's 100% the thing. For me, it wasn't. For some people, it could be. Every time I drink water, I guess I suck so much air that I always get like burps or something. Once again, it says, yeah, only reason I'm still playing, my friend got back into it and she wants to play with me, and I maxed out my Pyromancer in time. Yeah, see, I think it's a game that to me, I think if you had people to play with, it would be significantly more fun to play. You know, like people could pick you up, you won't get one shot that easily, so that's nice. I guess that'd be way more fun. Yeah, that happens to me. Like, you just get one shot, and you're like, what the fuck is that? God damn it! I'm able to tank shots. Like, I'm getting hit by things, but just in this one instance, I get dropped. And you're like, Fluff says, a Lost Ark is free to play. There is currently available Founders Pack that will grant you 3 days early access. It's not out yet? Okay, so you have to buy the okay, so it's about to go free to play, basically, but you can play it early now. Okay. Huh. I'll try Lost Ark with you. Yeah, it may be something. I don't know, man, because I don't think it's my kind of game. Yeah, it's the disconnected nature of it. It makes me feel a little bit like, Sasha says, sometimes I'm sweating just after coffee or tea. Or vodka. Vodka. Well, vodka makes sense. Coffee even kind of makes some sense. Well, actually, that's a lot. You must be drinking some strong ass coffee. Tea? Tea don't make any sense. Tea, you might have been drinking spicy ass tea or something. Really? Tea getting you weird. Okay. I don't mean to be judging, Saj. I've never heard about tea being that having that much punch, frankly. Now if it's tea with vodka in it, that makes some sense. But other than that, but no, I don't think it correlates with what I drink. Because like at the end of the day, when I'm done working out and I'm just sitting here, I kind of have a warmer shower, I guess, but nothing too hot. But I don't know. I think it's my body's fighting some, but interesting. But Sasha, that's I don't know about the whole tea thing, coffee thing. Also, I know people have like weird reactions to coffee. Like some people get the shits when drinking coffee, and I have never gotten that, frankly. But I'm one of those people that like go once a day if I'm lucky. Whatever organ thing I got going on does not work great. All right, does not work perfectly. What? Sasha says, my man, you should try Peru tea. What? Oh, what's that? Are there Peru teas? What's Peru teas? Did I just fall into one of these ligma things? God damn it. It's a Korean MMO with an isometric Diablo-like style. Yeah, I know the isometric like Diablo-like playstyle thing. I've seen that, but I didn't know it was an MMO. But it does look. I have heard people say that it's more of like a grind kind of game, you know? Okay, it launches tomorrow, so the 3 days early access is almost up. Gotcha. That makes sense why people have gotten it in a little early. Crazy says, did someone from this chat try to join me? I don't think so. No, sometimes you just get random people trying to join your world. Crazy, yeah. Lozig says, also, Grin, I finished Super Neptuna RPG in at 35 hours, so the protagonist got another world, got another world, saved under his belt, and got the platinum trophy too. So the platinum of the year. How does that work, Lone Cynic? By the way, first of all, awesome, congratulations. I'm gonna have a stroke, but I'm happy for you. But how does that work with the Neptuna game story? Because it's all about like you're like interfacing with these like console like waifus, I guess. How does that work? Does it like every game they're like, there you are again? Do they pick up from where you left off? Do they just introduce new people and they're like the other entities kind of have a reverence for you while these new characters don't? Or is it kind of like starting from the ground up each time? Because yeah, I wonder how that would work. Like games where you're procedurally going forward through each iteration that seemingly happens within some JRPGs. Yeah, I wonder how that actually pans out and makes things happen. Also, I should probably I should wrap this up and then what is it? I do my dailies because I gotta work out today still. God. Red says, if Anthony does not want to get on and play Elden Ring and Fluff, I'll buy it if you like co-op partner. Hell yes, Anthony is interested. He'll likely try Scrappler, Soul Fist, or Artillerist? Okay, I believe. He'll probably get into Elden Ring, and he should support up to 2 player co-op buddies will host. Nice. Hell yes. Also, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to do this, but we're doing it. Max says, I've been playing Pokemon Legends Arceus? I've seen it's the new Pokemon game, right? Yeah, I've seen. It looks interesting. Yeah, I mean, what do you call it, Max? I know you probably grew up on the Pokemon games or just really enjoy them. But man, I would love. It'd be really hard to do, but I would love like a Pokemon game that had like third person, like where you actually have to like play as an Ash-like character and like jump, kind of like Genshin, exactly. Except maybe instead of like with an attack button, you would just have the movement and jump ability, maybe a dodge ability. And you would just have your D-pad and like all of these other buttons, your various Pokemon attacks. And maybe you could swap out your Pokemon just the same way you would swap out a character. Not like the character itself, just the Pokemon would just start teleporting out of the ball, essentially. But I don't know, that kind of like super, like moment to moment, you actually have to know what the enemy is weak against. You wouldn't have this like slow down, choose what to do. You'd have to do it on the fly and like jump around things and dodge. I think that'd be fun, you know, but could be, that's not quite, I know, it's probably not what the world wants. But to me, I think it'd be cool as a person who doesn't like the turn-based situation. You get it then, Red? Nice. Fluff says also, or not Fluff, Max is also waiting for Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Me too, Max. I'm so excited. Who you going with, Max? Who you going with, Tiny Tina's Wonderland? I'm going Grave Warden. Or yeah, it's basically a good way to put it. Grave Warden, basically. A Graveborn and Spore Warden. Like, so Grave Warden is what I'm probably going to go. But I also could go Grave Wizard, whatever it would be called. Spellcaster plus Wizard. Or plus Grave Warden. But I think I'll start with Grave Warden, basically. That'll be my starter class, I think. We'll save for Wonderlands if needed, but otherwise I'll be belated birthday gift from my brother. Nice. Fluff says the limit in Elden Ring is 4 players in total, 1 host, 2 co-op, and 1 invader, or co-op 2 invaders based on how you set up. Weird. Okay, so the invaders can still kill you though, right? They'll fuck your life up. Legendary Actions is a great change of the formula and also sort of does that how you described it. Oh, really? Okay. Huh. Interesting. Oh shit, I've seen some people play it. It seemed like it's still a little bit isometric-y, but cool. Very cool. Ah, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. God damn it. It says, so the main game tackles a different perspective of console wars. It's a lot too much for now. Since we are about to end stream, I'll tell you about it tomorrow in case it's a bit too explain. Well, we can also wait for Saturday stream where we kind of have just we don't have to pivot between gameplay, talking gameplay. We just talk, you know. I didn't equip the quest, goddammit, or I did. It just I damn lock on thing. Anyways, this yes okay. There you are. I want to wrap this quest up and do my dailies, but it's kind of proving I can just do it tonight. I don't want to do it tonight. I want to play Dying 2. Oh, I gotta go in here, talk. This is like talking the quest. Okay. Fluff says it's still turn-based, but the battles are in world instead of separate instance. Okay, that's neat. Yeah. My whole thing is that I think it'd be cool, like, honestly, if I think about it, it's literally like Genshin. Like, you had Genshin, except you had like a customizable character, and instead of having playable characters, you just switch between your Pokemon, and whenever you attacked, they would do an instance of damage. They would have like a base attack, and they would have all these other kind of abilities and buffs. I think that'd be neat, but I think it'd be hard to code for. Red says, I took a lot at the starter classes, or I take a look at the lot of the starter classes. I have not seen them yet. Not that it matters much. The starter classes are not so important later. Okay. Losing said, I'll make a note so I won't forget to talk to you about. Hell yeah. Love said, legendary upgrades is really close to that idea, but it will hopefully influence mainline or new spin-off Legends series going for. Okay, so they may like evolve that into like pushing the envelope. That's nice. Sasha says, not sure which one is correct in English. It's pure or pure. I'm trying to like do the things without knowing how to do the things. Okay, it's a Chinese sort of tea. A lot of them contain tons of caffeine. Okay. I seen one that was, I heard about it for a long time, but I didn't know what would kind of qualify that as. But it's basically like a tea with spice. It's like a very spicy, powerful tasting tea. What is it called? I'm not sure if anyone remembers it. It's like chai. That's what it's called. Chai. I think. I hope that's right. But it's basically like a really strong, spicy, like tasting tea. Let's just do our dailies. I'll wrap up this quest. The dailies need to be done. That's what the important part is. Although we do have this quest to do somewhere here. I'll do that one first, I guess. This one. In Legends, you find monsters out in the world, and some will be caught by separated, or will be aggressive and attack the player. God damn it. Attack the player. It's a lot of good ideas, just needs more polish. Yeah, I was about to say, that's the only thing I noticed. It looked a little bit more rough. A little bit. That's not bad though. Again, I don't really care about as long as the ideas are cool and the gameplay mechanics are thought through. I think that's what matters, at least to me. Red says, have you seen if any of the weapons in Elden Ring are like Bloodborne in the idea of transforming? I don't know if they transform outright. I could see them having a different like attack pattern, essentially, like a kind of a slower hit or a faster hit, but I don't know. But from what I see, the only thing that I can kind of think about right now when you say that, Red, is there's like a spear that looks like it has multiple different kinds of attacks, but it's like a spear sword. It's kind of like it's exactly like if you've ever seen Star Wars, the fucking, I don't know which one, the guy with the fucking horns. I'm so bad with names, it's fucking not even funny. A little bit funny, but yeah, I don't know what his name is, but it's like that, basically like a double hilted sword. I don't know. But yeah, something like that. Which that one, I think when I seen the attack patterns, it looked like there was pretty big distinctions between what they could do. But also, I think there's gotta, yeah, I'm almost certain I seen a type of weapon that you could pivot between like the heavy hitting attack, and like you split it basically. So like I think, yeah, I'm sorry, I want to say, but I don't want to be wrong either. I want to say that there's like a sword that I've seen that becomes two like dagger weapons, but also the staff / that kind of adjacent like material weapon, whatever. Also, the son of a bitch is that one goddamn thing I can't fight against. Fire. Geo does its best, but it's flawed. Can I chuck him off? I did! Boom! Killed it. Max is probably gonna be Stabomancer and something else, because the assassin vibe has been my thing with these kinds of games. Yeah, man. Well, now it seems like it's even more like it's nice, because instead of being trapped by being an assassin, like you having to wait for like Zero's Discord, or I don't really, yeah, there's no really, they haven't been an assassin class for Zane, I guess, but Zane's more like just damage for guns, you know, and various kill skills. But the assassin class, it's nice that you can do potentially backstab stuff, but also just summon forth like a spectral blade that just rips apart the world, you know? That's pretty rad. Fluff says, I don't believe so, Red. They've got the Ash of War, which are an improvement of the weapon arts instead. There may be some weapons with unique modes, though. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, Fluff. 'Cause yeah, I don't know if it's objective, like every weapon has a different kind of like way to interface with it, like the whip cane or the, yeah, all that stuff. But it does look like I thought I seen some things where, again, it almost seemed like a spear drastically changed. Like, it was either like a two-handed sword, or two daggers, essentially two swords. Then they can combine like the two swords like this, and then you had that, you know? That makes sense? Max says, me and my friend were discussing similar legend concepts with the collab. Time travel, do Pokemon generation timeline. Yeah, man. I think there's, I don't know. To me, I always get a little bit sad when it seems like companies are very afraid to like touch an IP. Like they're almost like, oh no, it's so established. Let's not fix what's not broken. Which I get the sentiment of like, yeah, who wants to take a chance when it could like level your whole concept or ideas? But at the same time, I don't know. Like to me, a lot of people fucking hated the idea of there being like a new Ash Ketchum or something like that. I think it was like, I don't know. I seen it was in like This Just in Japan or something, like a channel, whatever it's called. Or trending in Japan, that's what it was. But anyways, they talked about way back in the day that like they were planning on rebooting Pokemon, and they were gonna try to do like they basically made like a new version of Ash Ketchum that wasn't even Ash Ketchum. And I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. I like the idea of like a fresh start, especially for people who haven't really gotten on board, can feel like they have a fresh time to get on board. But people fucking bitched and moaned about it. And I'm like, you always have like there's a fuck ton of Pokemon things. There's still new ones that came out like a couple years ago. Like it's not even like an old thing. So the idea that they wouldn't let this kind of flourish, I was kind of like, damn it. But also, I would also be down to like a Pokemon that was a little bit more, I don't know. I'm not sure if I would want gritty. I kind of get that idea. Like you don't want Pokemon being too like mature, because then it kind of loses the soul of like a kid just trying to run. Like the world falls apart when you start getting metal. You know, fucking brutal as hell. Like Ash blasting a hole through a Pokemon, or having to see one of his Pokemons die or something. It's like, oh, this is, the world's sad and fucked up now. I don't want this. Why have you done this to me? Kind of thing. Is this the enemies I need to kill? I don't know. Man, this is the problem with Itto a little bit, is where I don't know what is too little, and like basically right now I don't know if I should use it alt or if I should save it. But I think I always should use it, but I'm also always just like, well, what if I could use it for a rainy day? Kill them quickly. Thank God Cow does so much burst damage. Hit him through the wall. Report back to the guy or lady. Let's see what it says. Grin, I got into a new series called Witch and 100 Nights. And you know how to talk about a summoner class in a game, or class in games. In this game, you play as the summoner, and you fight alongside the evil witch. Is it like a third-person game? What's happening? What is it called? Witch in 100 Nights. Is it a series? Is it a video game? Or is it when I think of series, maybe it's wrong, but I think of like a TV series. It could be a series of games, but yeah. I'm curious, Sloan Syndicate, what is that? Fluff says, similar to Dying Light 2, Legend of Acris has a slow start, but when it gets going, it goes. Yeah, I know. I think that's a good way to put what do you call it? Well, yeah, I guess that's a good way to put Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2, to me, the only crux is that it feels weird at the very beginning because it's an RPG. Like, that's the only thing that's holding it back, but that's also the thing that makes it the most, like, well, I'm not sure the most valuable. I'm not sure if it's all the skill trees are needed to attain to enjoy your thing, but it definitely feels like the blueprints and the weapons and all that stuff make a huge sink for enjoyment, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I think those matter in the overarching theme of, oh my god, I fucking hate you, stupid water motherfucker. God damn you. Son of a bitch. Here we go. Quickly. Oh, it's going away as soon as I activated it. It's fine. Shangling did so much damage. We're good. Max says agreed. What about Fluff with the Dying Light Takama? Yeah. Fluff says, speaking of Bloodborne, Cow. God, I fucking hate shields so much. You do like 1,000 damage and the shield's like, bitch, please. You're like, what? It makes no sense. We've done them all. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's collect these. I was gonna fast travel without doing it. One day I'll thank myself for taking the time. I won't thank myself tonight because I have to exercise and I'm gonna be tired and I have no time. But fucking shut up. Shut up, me. Fluff says, speaking of Bloodborne, the PST demake is out and pretty cool. Even had some Easter eggs and brand new content compared to the PS4 counterpart. Weird. That's the demake thing is such an interesting concept where they don't remake a game. They take a modern game and make it like an old arcadey pixelated mess, but also it's amazing. It's like the innovation of psychopathic people, essentially. Again, I'm all for it. I just think it's a little funny, or people are like, instead of making something new and fresh that could make me money and benefit me in a massive way, it's like, no, I will make this for a small sect of the community that they'll appreciate it and they'll think it's cool, but I'm not sure if I have anything to gain. I'm like, okay. I get, but it's not the full game. It's probably just like highlights, so it's not as crazy as making it sound. But oh, so this is nice. We're getting that thing slowly but surely with some condensed resin. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wind down. Fluff says, and you can make it an aesthetic or as modern as you wish. Simultaneously loading screens and other performance expectations of old PlayStation. Nice. I watched someone play it. It was pretty cool. Nice. Fluff says, I really wish they'd go through with the Pokemon reboot that featured Red and reset the actual game. Yeah, man, that's what I was hoping too. When I heard about it, because I never really, I was there, I guess. Like I've always liked, like the Pokemon movies made me cry, basically. The one where they always fucking like, I don't know. To me, that was like the precursor for like finding out my emotional gap in my thing, because I'm pretty like. I don't know, I go back and forth between, if I haven't cried in a while, I'll just unload and cry a lot. But man, I don't know, the whole Pokemon thing, there's like so many times they're like, Pikachu goes out of his way to save her, Ash goes out of his way to save his animal, etc. Just wrecks me. Same thing with like My Hero Academia, where like Deku's pushing past his limits, trying to, you know, achieve his dreams. I fall apart. I just become a sobbing mess. I'm just like, it's so beautiful. I'm such an idiot, but I don't hate this part of me. But what do you call it? Yeah, I wish they would have went through with the thing, because there's so many times where like, I don't know, man. So like, I really would like them to reboot, yeah, Pokemon, but I would also love them to reboot Digimon, because I fucking love that show. But if they were to actually like try to add to it, so they like, because old Digimon exists, it's like still watchable, it's still decent. But if they instead were like, okay, what's a modern spin on it? What can we do to enhance this story overall? You know, because Digimon is actually a story where I think they could get like a little intense with it and actually it work, because it's not just so jolly as Pokemon. I guess Pokemon, I find like there's like an art style of hope and joy and like childlike wonder. Whereas I feel like with the Digimon era, it's very much more like, you know, bitches getting beat up and hurt and dying, and it's like, ugh. But also Digimon, I think, eventually got into like maturity. Like, their kids were like not like Ash, who stays 14 forever, but they were like, I think maybe 17 at some point, 16, 17, and one of the points in the series, rather than a short-lived miniseries as love. Oh, okay, I see. Max says, do we know do we know the maintenance is going up on 2.5? Usually, Max, for 2.5, it always starts, well, for me, it always is finished. When there's a brand new patch, it's usually always going up around 8. So basically like 7 or 8. But after that, if it's like the next part or part 2 of the patch, then it usually comes out at 4. So they're like able to install it and like let it rip really fast. But when it's a full install, that's when it takes anywhere from like, it can come out at 6, 7, or maybe even 8 or 9, you know? So that's the kind of weird barometer, but that's mountain time. But yeah, whatever the previous update was released in, if you know what that happened, that's 4 for me, and that'd be 4 hours beyond that, you know? Sasha says, congratulate me, I just finished, got my electro, oh no, really? The little wispy things? Congratulations, Sasha. Jesus Christ, I haven't even done that. That's so much, Sasha. Have you made a dent in your Sakura tree? I gotta go work out. But that's the nightmare that I'm waiting for. If you get that, I'll fucking, I don't know, do 10 push-ups, just because, like, that's fucking, I don't know, I feel like I gotta pay you back somehow, because that's an achievement that I don't even want to think about. I want to get the Inazuma fucking amazing, like, Serenity Pot thing, but I can't. It's just too much. Hopefully over time we'll chip away. But, pain. Lizica says, is the video game grin called Witch? Okay, perfect. I'll go. Actually, we'll be able to see that as soon as I end the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been nothing shy of lovely. Fluff says Digimon does have current anime with older characters, and there is frivolous little games that are sold from what I've seen and heard. Okay. Digimon actually has a prior aging and progress over the course of it. So yeah, so it did like the Harry Potter thing where it exponentially kind of got more mature as it aged up. Nice. I played one of the Saberlith games. It was going nice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta end it. Oh my god, yeah, oh god, it's streamed so early, or so beyond the time. There is a video coming out already. It's actually out right now. Shit. It's a video where I gave a big shout out to both Fluff and Anthony. It's a video on Dying Light's dupe glitch. 2 variants. I didn't test the second variant. I really hope it works. I heard people confirm it in Discord comments and shit that I've seen it and it makes sense why it works. But I might need to I really hope it works. Otherwise I'm a liar and I'll have to take down the video. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the video coming out today. It's more of a just kind of a helpful guide video on people who are wanting to get an advantage in a game that is very grindy at certain points in it. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day, though. Thank you so much for giving a single second of your time. We'll be streaming tomorrow, Friday, over at YouTube as well. Probably playing Dying Light at that point. Yeah. I'll probably finish up the quest on my own because I thought it'd be a little more like combat heavy. It was just running around talking to people, which is my favorite thing again. Thank you so much, and bye.